it is going to be a very, very good day. Because you know why? We're at Spa. It is our track. We're home, boys. It's coming home. Not for England, though. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. Bienvenue, bonjour, bonsoir. It's going to be a dusky day today. It is 5 o'clock in the morning. A track length of 7 kilometers to navigate for these boys. 21 degrees Celsius, 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice. Mostly cloudy with a 15 kilometer an hour southwesterly wind. And you thought after our kerfuffle, me and Craig would not be back together, but the band's back together. Craig, how are we?
Good evening, or good afternoon, Rob. I am doing well. I know we're really excited for Spa, and we're excited for the major series. I got to give the shout out to the Orange Army before we do anything, because I think everyone has heard, unfortunately, the sad incident that happened at Brands Hatch in a British race yesterday, the BSRC race, where a marshal was killed after an accident. Now, safe to say, without marshals, I don't think a lot of us would be watching racing, or a lot of us would be racing, because I know a lot of these people as well. They do their own little recreational thing. I know my uncle was a racer. And without the marshals giving up their hard-earned time, everything for free, their volunteers, there wouldn't be anything. So it was a sad day yesterday. The Orange Hearts have been going out everywhere. It's fantastic to see. Rest in peace to that man. More information, of course. We're not going to say anything else, but just it was a sad day yesterday. Motorsports come together. All the best for his family, of course, and our wishes to his family and his friends and everyone involved at Brands Hatch yesterday. And we will give you what we can, which is the action here for the Majors Series, which, of course, is going live shortly. There is no more qualification, which leads to the question, who can beat Adam Facapont? 19 points in the lead, 143 points versus Sean Brown, who he's got 124 points. And, of course, it's pre-qualifying. So we don't know the qualifications until I don't know who's starting on pole before we go. But those two men are out there today battling, and it's going to be a close battle between the two of them for this race. And just before we go, Rob, of course, as per usual, the Major Series always have the charity that they sponsor each event. This event sponsored, our charity is the Hunger Project. Their vision is a world where every woman, man, and child can live a healthy, fulfilling life of self-reliance and dignity. And their mission is to end hunger and poverty by pioneering sustainable, grassroots, women-centered strategies and advocating for the widespread adoption in countries throughout the world.
Yeah, just to add on to the point, as a reminder that real racing is indeed dangerous. So the more racing that we can do in the safety and have in safety and in comfort, the better, I'd imagine. It'll be ARC, of course, as we said, or as Craig said, confirming the tragic loss of life for the volunteer marshal. And these guys put in their own time. They're all volunteers, and we may be of the sim racing variety, but we still extend our hand to the lads who do it for real. Qualifying has already been completed earlier in the week. Warm-up has just ended. We are now going to see who has taken P1. My bets are on Adam Facapont. Let me see.
Let's wait and see. Oh, and we're still waiting. Oh, would you believe it? It is indeed Adam Facapont taking the pole in pre-qualifying. Eric Feek taking P2. Pierre Dolomer will line up in third. Colin Ward fourth. Then it's Stuart Elder and Jambroni on the next line. John Lang seventh and Sean Brown eighth. Brandon Kluger will be ninth and Mike Gaunt 10th. Forsten Oliver Zimmerman is 11th. Thomas Siebenagel will be 12th. Jack Weddle has the unlucky 13th. And Darren Buckle will be buckling up in 14th. Kenneth Tear will take 15th. Wolf Dieter Cotto 16th. David Wilson Jr. 17th. Marco Smith will be 18th. Tom Van Put 19th. Then you've got Patrick Nice 20th, Andy Barnfield 21st, Jason Lottridge 22nd, Carl Aspie will be 23rd, Simon Fawns 24th, Drew Lalonde will be 25th, Corbin Solomonson 26th, Kenneth Reeder will be 27th, Ronald Overbay will be 28th, and Mason Marsdorf will be 29th. One thing we've got to remember, Rob, because hang on, they're starting the procession right by the bus stop. Why is that? It's a 2.4 hours of Spa. In homage of the fantastic race they've had today, we're starting down the hill to where we're sitting, Rob, just at the top of Raidillon.
Indeed, indeed. The only corner you need. You know. The only corner anybody ever. Neither did I, you know. But you know what? In honor of... Oh, the pace car going off very early.
Yeah, pace car's off and pace car's in. They have been told they have to keep the pacing around Le Tour. So while they're slowly going, this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. The 2.4 hours of Spa for the Major Series. European Sportsman slip will get going once they get around this iconic first corner. 5:38 in the morning. Rob, I hope you're awake. Take it away.
Oh, I am awake indeed. Coming around La Sauce, it is going to be Eric Fiech and Adam Facciaponti. And Adam Facciaponti is actually he's already got started. I'm sorry, what? It's all gone It's all gone wrong. And Adam Facciaponti and Eric Fiech already breaking away from the two in the rear. That would have been Peter Dolomar and Colin Ward. Oh, crikey, that's already a car gone off. That's going to be Peter Dolomar sent off into the wall.
More. Oh, wow, and Thomas Seaman got caught it as well. He got caught up in that as well. He saw what happened, and that was Stuart Elder going off. Was Stuart Elder, yeah. Stuart Elder just lost control of the car. Peter Dolomar went off himself. Peter Dolomar's towed the car, but that was a nasty one. And, of course, we did see a couple people get involved in that. Dolomar has finished. Adam Facciaponti and Eric Fiech have not noticed that. Colin Ward currently sitting P3. But he's 2 seconds behind. But behind is Sean Brown and Brandon Kluger and Jan Brony. And the two in the back there are just having a fight. Brony trying to go around the outside of Kluger. It's not going to work. Not going to work into Brussels. And he's going to have to get that position up as Kluger will go up another position. And right behind Brony is Zimmerman. What's going to happen when they come down into Pujon double gauge? Multiple names for this. It is absolute chaos at the start.
Brendan Kluger into 5th position. We did see what happened to Peter Dolomar. He lost control coming up through Raidillon. The Raidillon curse is now in full swing, unfortunately, as the rest of the drivers try and get themselves sorted out. It's going to be Adam Facciaponti, Eric Fiech, Colin Ward, Sean Brown, Brendan Kluger, Jan Brony, Thorsten Oliver Zimmerman, Mike Gunn, Kenneth Tier, and Darren Buckle, your top 10 right now. The big players are going to be trying to get past Brendan Kluger as he opens the gap between himself and the top 4. Jack Weddle moving up into 11th there. Just saw. And as they climb, I think it is back up the hill. Even though it's still faster than going up the Kemmel, or is that the Kemmel Straight?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I don't think it's Kemmel, but anyway, they're coming around these corners right now, and it's a very chaotic start. And now comes the interesting part to see how these drivers are going to take this. The BOP is the same as the iRacing BOP for the 24 hours of Spa. So it's quite interesting that you see Colin Ward in a McLaren, currently P3, but the top positions made up at the start. It's just ridiculous. And you can see there is a little bit of a, well, they would say a trolley train in the F1 form, but it's not that big at the moment. It's the start of a race. You do have Brandon Kluger just holding off Jan Brony, and then behind, the gaps are a little bit big, but they're still Zimmerman behind, then Gaunt, then Tiered, then Buckle, all of them all just battling. And I think we might see Kenneth Tier if he gets a move on Gaunt, but they're both in Mercedes. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And there's a lot, I thought there was a lot of blinking. It was a little blip at the end there. Kenneth Tier's not had a good time. Darren Buckle will be the man making a move. I did not see that happening, but Buckle's going to be side by side with Tier. And just like that, one Mercedes.
Oh my God,
he's overdone it! He's overdone it! He's got into Mike Gaunt! Oh man, it went all wrong for Darren Buckle there, and Mike Gaunt had pulled off to the other side of the road to let people through. All of these guys letting cars through, and it looks like they're in chaos because one car's trying to go through and he couldn't find it. And that is Simon Fawns having a little bit of a moment there, having to make an evasive actions. Carl Aspie goes on. It's all happening at the start of this race. Meanwhile, the guys at the front, they have no idea what's going on.
Sean Brown chasing down P3. Colin Ward through Pujon 1 and 2. They call it double ghost for some reason. I don't know why. It's all so weird to me. How could this happen to me? And it is going to be second and fourth for the, I think their team. I don't know, unless they're similarly painted cars. I might be standing corrected myself already. But Colin Ward holding up the guard in third. He's 4 seconds behind the top two of Adam Vacciaponti and Eric Fiek. Eric Fiek losing the rear end of Vacciaponti already. Vacciaponti driving the Huracan GT3. Very nice car. Painted in orange, of course. As he is pushing to really extend his lead as we're into some trees as we come into the bus stop. Navigating around the bus stop. This is going to, from what I've seen of the Spa-24 on iRacing, a lot of the cars are actually having a very savage time coming around the bus stop. The exit especially is pretty hard for them because they start trying to put the power down. There's nothing there. There's no grip room. And with the track temperature as it is, it's only 21 degrees out there. It's quite relatively cold, speaking, in relative speaking. But it is going to be advantage to anything that isn't a McLaren GT3. Even though Colin Ward, he's putting up a staunch defense at the moment, but I'm not sure how long he can hold on to it.
No, that's the 5-gear one, that's the BMW. He may go into sixth, but it will be hinder him. He's going to have to take the outside if he wants this, and I don't think Brown is going to make this. He will try and force it side by side. In fact, if he does, it's the car going off. That's Thomas Siemennagel just letting everybody by, and Colin Ward does hold on to that with the defense. Brown realizing it's not worth it, so he's just going to wait for an opportunity. Really gets an interesting line through Malmedy there. Really takes the apex tight, just uses the curb. BMW has that little bit of height, so he's able to do that, but he's unable to get through this complete matte black. There's no reflection on that McLaren, and from our own broadcast with McLarens down this straight, it's not the fastest of the cars. It can suffer a little bit at top speed, and Colin Ward doing his best to hold off that BMW. Maybe Sean might want to grab that sixth gear if he starts getting a little bit too close on the next lap, but traditionally the BMW really doesn't use that fifth gear a lot, so we'll wait and see what happens there. But he's now just going to be there with Colin Ward. He's got Brandon Kluger behind. You can just see them working there, and yeah, you can see they are similar design cars. It really is interesting to see how it's almost I'm surprised how close that is there. I think they've basically got the same... Oh, no, they are the same design. I've never seen that before. Fantastic. But as they come down to Blanchimont, will there be any moves here? I think Brown is just going to give the respect to Ward, and I don't think we'll be seeing any official racing dives down into the bus stop, but we'll wait and see. Around they go, and no, I think it's going to be reset. Let's do it down the Camel Straight one more time.
Sean Brown tucking up towards the car of Colin Ward. I don't think he hasn't got the legs, even with the slipstream. He's not got the legs to really push it. He needs to be tucked right up to the back end, coming up towards past Raidillon up onto the back straight, and then he'd probably be able to have a crack at the whip. But as of right now, he's pretty stuck behind him with the dirty air as well coming through here. He'd have to slow down a little bit. Oh, he doesn't actually. Oh, he does, just a little. Oh, and that's a car coming out of the pits. What car is that? What car is that? It's going to be
Stuart Elder. I was just looking as well. Sean Brown did not have a good run up Raidillon, and you can see Brandon Kluger can look at that. But that lap car might just provide him. Yeah, he's not going to make a move. A little bit of a flash there from Sean Brown onto Colin Ward. I believe Kruger and Brown are in the same team. I do not see it on my statistics sheet at the moment. I will double check that. But yes, they are HW Racing. I do apologize. It's a new Hanson. Is that not a Hanson, bro? That's a new livery from HW Racing. I do like that, actually. I must admit, that's another story for later in the race. Can't see Kluger battling Brown at the moment. It's just going to be a little bit of teamwork. But they are allowing the likes of Jan Brony to just catch up a little bit. Brony, lapping half a second faster last lap compared to these two. So we might get another train of 5 cars very shortly. We'll wait and see on that because it is looking like that. But here they come down into Les Fonds and around, and just corner here takes a really nice line, and you've got these 2 cars with the American flag on the front versus on the hood, the roof, versus a matte black McLaren at 5:45 in the morning. It's a good thing there's some lights because I don't think you'd be able to see that McLaren right now.
I was thinking, I was thinking that, at the very least, that if it was completely absent of light out there, I would have thought that they'd be able to see at least something with the headlights. I mean, the headlights are a lot better than they were before. Again, Sean Brown blinking his lights. He's kind of not happy that Colin Ward is still there. I think he would rather Colin Ward be behind him. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that as well. I think it'd be nice to have him behind. Brandon Kluger just had a little bit of an issue coming up the bus stop, and look how slow Ward is going around the La Source down. I think that's what's holding Brown up. Loses a bit of time there. He can't get on the throttle as early as he'd like to because of Ward. That line just getting a little bit compromised. It was a 2:19.669 for Brown and a 2:19.663 for Ward, so it's clear that Brown is currently just getting held. And every time I see these cars go up, Eau Rouge and Raidillon, even with the new off tracks, it does make me worry a little bit. But there is not a big enough, not a small enough gap here for Brown to make a move. Ward realizes that he took to the inside, and he realized that was all right. He went straight back to the racing line. That McLaren though does not look comfortable when it comes around Lake Coon, and I've seen it a couple of times. Even at the Fawns, it is struggling around there. So they're going to go. They can just see Eric Feek in front of them just before he dips down at the hill going into Bruxelles. The gap between them is 5 seconds as Feek is not having a good time at the moment. Now he is in clean air. I think there's been a couple of mistakes by him. But Sean Brown is just holding on, and this pace there between these two are now starting to pull away from the likes of Kluger and Bruni. It looks like we're going to have a few group battles down the field now, but the gaps mid-pack, they're all about a second between each other, so not a lot going on apart from these this top battle at the moment.
5 laps gone, 63 speculative to be remaining. It's going to be interesting to see how the field shapes up after the first sets of pit stops, which I imagine will be... Is there any restrictions on fuel tank?
No restrictions.
So it'll be about an hour then before the first proper fuel stops.
Yeah, which it does amaze me then that you get the likes of Faka Ponte who does a 2:17.252, and if it is the iRacing BOP for the Spa 24, that's a really quick time there from the man in the orange. And I know usually that's what he runs, but there is a little bit, as we were saying earlier, a little bit of a significant reason with the orange today, and it is very nice to see. But back with this battle between Ward and Brown, it looks like that Ward just had a little bit of an issue there going out the bus stop. He just got a little bit wide on exit, kicked up onto the off track, and Sean Brown realizes that he's trying to take a slingshot move, and I think that may have worked, but he's right on the back of Ward. This is a little bit risky right now, because if he's right on this back, he's going to have to lift off a little bit going up Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Hope that Ward does not get the optimal line here. Let's just see. Goes up. The kiss of the apex there from Ward. A really nice speed, but Brown matches. A little bit of a different line, but he matches, and now they're down the Camel Straight. And Ward realizes that he goes to the inside line. He goes over. Brown is going to be holding on to him. He's now going to make the overlap. He makes the overlap, and Ward's almost just turning in to get a racing line in the middle. Brown's going to have to go around the outside of Lake coming to the first spot. He's made that move work. What a move from Sean Brown. But it's still fighting here into Malmedy. There was almost an overlap, but Ward could not get it. Brown's going to move on. Ward's compromised himself with that run. Here comes Brandon Kluger and the HW Racing boys. Look like they're going to get third and fourth. Ward is going to fight this, but he's around the outside. He cannot. So in the space of one corner, he goes from third down to fifth. And it may be stick. Here comes Jan Maroney in that Mercedes. Has he ever moved in to Wuhan? He does not. HW Racing, they look like they're going to start making a move up to the top. Hang on a second. Mistake from Ward. Side by side is Brony and Ward. They're going to go to the Fawns side by side. Who's got this? Is it Brony? Is it Ward? It looks like it's going to be Ward. He doesn't have it. They're still side by side. Brony's going to fight this back. He's going to be side by side. And then still side by side going down into campus. Into campus side by side. Hold on 1 second. We're still going. Side by side out of campus into Stavlot. Side by side for Stavlon, and finally, Colin Ward keeps his P5. Are they not going to go for it again, surely?
It's going to be Ambroni calling it the shots down Colin Ward. Colin Ward having to defend himself very, very tightly, coming through the kink here, coming up towards the bus stop. He'll have absolutely no time to defend himself if he gets it stuck in a bus stop. And that is Jan Brony going on the outside. And no, they almost come together around the bus stop. That is going to be a lot of squeezing coming through the first part of it. Coming through the second part, that is going to be Colin Ward's advantage coming around the outside, and he's going to be having the inside line. When Jan Brony goes behind and attack again, and force Oliver Zimmerman coming from the rear. The car number 80 is looking around his outside of the car in the 6th position. It's going to be Jan Brony. Jan Brony, the 88, is going to try and chase down Colin Ward in 92. He cannot get held up any further. He's been held up too much now at this stage as they come down towards the dip up towards Raidillon. It'll be the advantage to Jan Brony as he tries to make it good on another escapement. Trying not to get the off tracks or get the slowdowns because it'll kill any advantage he has. He'll lose the position if he does. And that is hugging the outside line coming up towards Lake Coombe. And that is Jan Brony going around the outside. Colin Ward defending on the inside. He's compromised his line just a smidgen. Not too much to warrant a counter-attack by Jan Brony, but holding position.
Very, very interesting defending right now by Colin Ward. It's working for him. He's just seeing, I'm just watching it. The same with what happened at the bus stop and at Lake Coombe before. He's just there. He's just there holding that inside line, the defending line. And right as you get into the braking zone, right before the braking zone, starts to move to the middle of the track. He's done that a couple times now. The people like Brony and Simmons watching that, they'll understand what he's trying to do. Maybe they can set up a dummy right now, but unfortunately Ward has shown what cards are in his hand right now. And unfortunately, no one's gone all in. You don't look at what's on the table. So Ward is going to have to defend even more. And with the pace that Brony's had, especially up that Eau Rouge and Raidillon, you could see Ward did not have the speed. So it is going to be tough right now. They come around campus, and this time, of course, Ward takes the right line. He is on his own. He's not too wide. Brony's going to be watching out for Zimmerman. One mistake going up into Blanchimont will cost Brony that P6, but he wants that P5. He knows he needs that P5. That also gets you points in the major series. He's not going to try this at Blanchimont. He's not. But he hasn't taken any speed off. Look at the speed he's carrying right now. He's going to try and make a move. He tried to sell the dummy. He can't sell the dummy. But Colin Ward may have overcooked it into the bus stop. He's okay, though. He's okay. But this is some fantastic driving right here. Meanwhile, you know, Sean Brown and Brandon Kluger are just driving away. Eric Feek and Adam Fittipaldi have no idea what's going on at the front. No idea. And breathe. It's going absolutely ballistic out there at the moment. But
just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe. Just breathe. It's insane at the moment what is going on as they go up again. Interesting to see. It's interesting because you think to yourself, go Eau Rouge and Raidillon, you don't see any difference in lines, but here comes Brony again, and it looks like he is going to try and cut off that middle line. That's a bit better. He's not used the side of the track, and he's going to try and outbrake Colin Ward, and he's overdone it. And Colin Ward keeps that position just there for Brony. It looked like he had it, but he's got to give it another go if he doesn't take an off track there at Malmedy, and he can't now set himself up at Brussels. He's overbroke again. Oh, he's gone way too wide. That's twice now he's outbroken himself. Can he make anything as he goes in to... No, David's going to put his nose in there, and that's a bit risky, and he holds on. That looked a little bit risky, but he is trying. He's getting a little bit impatient right now, is Jan. He keeps on looking, and again, late braking. You can see that he's not having the same force that the likes of Colin Ward is, and Ward goes wide at Pouhon again. Is there going to be a move for Brony? There's a little bit of an overlap. It's rear quarter. It's rear wheel, and it's not going to happen again. While this is happening, by the way, you would think that the guys behind would be catching them. While these guys have been battling doing 224s, the field behind Zimmerman are doing 226s, 222s. So what would usually be the two guys battling and bring more people in, like we saw earlier, it's not happening. These three are given a free rein to do this racing. No one's coming close to them. But at the same time, is Zimmerman starting to save fuel? I was just thinking that.
Could be, yeah. But there is 2 stops to make it, so... You know, you could be like Eric Feek and you could be stuck in no man's land. Not sure what to do with yourself. He is 4 seconds behind Adam Fittipaldi. He is 8 seconds ahead of Sean Brown, that group that we've been watching. He's 4 seconds behind him. So it's going to be a bit sort of a long game, I think, for a lot of these drivers, because they'll have to look quite deep in their pockets and try and pull out some absolute ludicrous moves.
Yeah, some ludicrous moves. I just see Simon Fawns just having a little bit of a moment yet. Simon Fawns not had the best of time. Oh, wow. I'm just watching Simon Fawns, and he clipped the inside of Blanchimont, and unfortunately, massive nose damage there for Simon Fawns. He is continuing, though. I would say, Simon, from experience, you might want to pit. Oh, you do have lights. I have had experiences this week where a little bit of nose damage has cost me to lose my lights, and especially at this time of the day, you kind of want your lights. So that's happening at the back of the field. But meanwhile, the Colin Ward-Jan Brony battle, which has been absolutely brilliant just because of the back defending Colin Ward's done and what Brony's been throwing, it continues. It continues. And by the way, their lap times last lap, a 2:21.259 for Brony, a 2:21.035 for Ward, and Zimmerman with a 2:21.265 himself. And that, I was saying, are the others going to catch them? Yeah. Them doing 2:20s, that's helping them. They caught half a second last lap. So who knows? If it keeps getting a little bit too close at the front, we might actually see them come back in. But at the moment, they're so far behind. They're about 4 seconds behind the likes of Weddle, the likes of Tyr and Hoto. I don't think we'll see them yet. Meanwhile, Alan Facaponte went purple last lap, and wouldn't be surprised if he goes purple again. He did a 2:18.139. And I think he might do that again as he opens up his lead to 5 seconds. It's a 2:18.432. Not the fastest lap of the race, but it's still one of the quicker laps we've seen.
I mean, to be fair, if they continue at the current pace they are, the likes of Weddle will start coming back. He is closing that gap. He closed the gap on the last lap, and I'm pretty sure he will again. Let's have a look. Will he close it again? No, I stand corrected, actually. He was a bit slower on that last lap, so the gap has now stabilized at 4.3 seconds. It only just takes one battle between these guys, and then he'll actually contract the gap again. So, you know, it can happen.
Yeah, it can happen. You can just see, I think Brony and Zimmerman, I think they're either off the pace or they are just accepting might be better to just save a little bit of fuel. Brony hasn't been close to Ward for a couple of laps now, but now is his closest time. Some really nice corners at Lake Coombe into Malmedy. Malmedy was a little bit scrappy there as he missed the apex into Bruce as he goes. And again, he takes this different line, and it's so hard. You'll know from your time racing Spa, it's so hard to get Bruxelles right. It's a hairpin. It's a downhill right-hand hairpin. You don't see the apex that you have to aim for in your exit for quite a while. And you feel like you've gone too slow into the corner, and you've put on the brakes too much. And then you realize, no, I haven't. So some drivers take a wider line to just cut the apex. Some people like to double apex it. So Brony and Ward taking different lines. And it's kind of helping Ward at the moment. Brony just losing out for a little bit of time. Half a second is the gap. As you can see, we still got 25 drivers on the lead lap. We've only had 2 retirements out of the 29 car list. John Lang, unfortunately, having internet issues. Peter Dolomer, after that first lap crash. We still got 2 drivers a lap down. That's Elder and Steven Eggles. They had to tow to get fixed. But gap is 0.4 between Rooney and Ward. There's not going to be a move right now. But it does feel like with 25 minutes gone in this 2-hour, 25-minute race, it does feel like Zimmerman is in it for the long run right now, and Brony's just accepting where he is.
Drew Lalonde, by the way, an accident at Pouhon. He just touched the grass coming onto the curb, coming onto the first Pouhon, and then it took him right the way around. But he's gotten back on the track. He managed to avoid the wall, which was the main thing. He almost did strike the wall, the Armco. So he's at least missed that.
Meanwhile, I think there's been an issue for David Wilson. He went down the order. Not sure what happened yet. A little bit of an issue. He lost it going into No Name. Jackie X, or as I heard today, Speaker's Corner. I never knew it was called that, but a little bit of a slide there from David Wilson Jr. took him from 11th down to 14th, and he's got Mike Gaunt and Tom Van Put right behind him there. Mike Gaunt not pitting after that little mistake that he had, that little incident he got caught at the start early in the race at Lake Coombe, as he's trying to battle Wilson. Tom Van Put as well, making some gains as well. So you've got Wilson in the Porsche, you've got Gaunt in the Mercedes, you've got Van Put in that Lamborghini, and they're all different speeds, but you can just see they're all fighting. And meanwhile, up ahead, looks like a teammate move there as Marco Smith overtakes his teammate Patrick Neese, and that's for 12th position for the Black Tree race crew. And they've got keep your distance on the back. I do like that on the back. Keep your distance, but yeah, just making I wouldn't say team order, but Marco Smith looks like he is a little bit faster out the two, and it's just gonna have the reins. He has got 12 seconds to catch up to Andy Banfield, though.
Where is Banfield? Oh, there he is. He's in 11th.
Yeah. Lake Coombe. By the way, I was talking about I do like what they've got on the back of their cars. Shout out to Force and Oliver Zimmerman. The default iRacing paint comes with the Pro sticker on the back of the Porsche. So he's just taken a pen and put an X through it. Brilliant on the livery. Absolutely love it. Fantastic.
Oh dear, I just saw it there now. Why not
and he's
draw the rest, like draw Sportsman and crayon, you know? Just draw it underneath it, you know?
Well, I've got some amateur tags. I've got some amateur plates if you want it, or some pro-am plates. Just come see me. I can just do you a deal just behind the bike sheds if you want it, Forsen. But he is losing a little bit of time now to the rest. He did a 2:20.031, where you've got Brony doing a 2:19.536 and a 2:19.481 for Colin Ward. Those two are still just holding on together, kind of just group racing at the moment, the McLaren and the Mercedes. Shout out to Colin Ward, though, for keeping this McLaren in P5 and holding off Jan Brony earlier. But again, having to just go for a little bit of defense. And again, showing his cars, they almost touch! Came over a little bit too much as Jan Brony just touches Colin Ward there. And I was afraid of that with the way Ward was just coming in every now and then when he was defending. He just went a little bit too far to the left there before braking. And I think Ward realized it. I don't think there's any damage to the front of Jan Brony. There is not, but that could have been very bad for both drivers. Wow. That was a little bit close for comfort.
And what's even worse is Brony has actually fallen way back over Colin Ward. He's actually now just over a second and a half behind, having to back off, really just trying to prevent himself from getting sucked into any more sort of shenanigans. I think he just wants to play it safe for now and just wait until his opportune moment to strike comes, which will be in the pits. I think a lot of these are going to be pit stops and trying to fuel save as much as humanely possible. And one group in particular, I think, the group back here in 15th and 16th, group of Mike Gaunt, Tom Van Put, and David Wilson Jr. Also, this is the first time, I think, that we've seen the new 911s.
Just trying to think myself, and you are correct. First time we've seen the Porsche 919 RS GT3. Is it RS GT3?
GT3R.
Yeah, GT3R. That's it. I knew there was an R somewhere. First time we've seen it on Raidillon TV, and it's a very nice looking car, I've got to say. It's not one of my favorite cars to drive. I don't like an engine at the back of the car. I can't feel what I'm doing, but I can't feel when I'm braking. But it is very nice to drive, and you can just see it does have the pace. It doesn't have the pace, if I'm brutally honest, around here at the moment. Excuse me. Fastest Porsche is Force and Oliver Zimmerman, who's battling Jan Brony right now, and it might look like he wants to make a move. He won't at the moment, but I gotta be honest, Zimmerman's really up there thanks to the slipstream. But from what I've heard, the Porsche, while it is still a very good car, it does not have that top end speed. I don't know. That's just what I've heard from a couple people. And it might be why he was starting to just lose Ward and Brony earlier on, but the gap between Brony and Ward has gone down to about 2.5. Nothing else there, but gap between Zimmerman and Weddle has shrunk again, and Weddle is actually starting to catch up to these two. The gap is now 3 seconds, so we may see another car get involved here, and that is a complete matte black Ferrari. Oh, wow. So we had a complete matte black. As I say that,
and you cursed him. And you cursed.
Yeah, I cursed him. Oh dear. I was going to say we got a matte black Porsche, Ferrari, and a matte black McLaren. Every time I say McLaren, I want to say Mercedes, and I feel really bad about it. I apologize.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. It's the first word that comes. It's the first racing car with an M that comes off my lips for some reason.
What?
And
McLaren?
It just happened. No, Mercedes.
No, but
I don't know why.
McLaren.
I know. I'm a McLaren fan as well. Why do I do this to myself?
I can tell you why. I can tell you why. The Mercedes comes first. It's because of recent domination.
You are right. I'm just going to see the gap between Ward and Brony as they cross the line. It was 2.4 last lap. It is 2.9 this lap. A very slow, well, not a very slow, but a 2:23.76. Jan Brony versus Colin Ward's 2:19.909. And really, those top five are the only ones hitting the 19s and below consistently. Jan Brony is the first one really to just make a couple mistakes, and he's now starting to trip down a little bit. I think that may have spooked him with that incident just going to Lecombe a couple laps ago, and you could see that he lost his momentum, and Lecombe's a momentum corner as well, so I think that must have just thrown him off a little bit. He's got a battle force on Oliver Zimmerman right now, and Zimmerman wisely backs off, but he was battling for fifth. He's in danger of losing fifth, and Kenneth Tears had to tow. What has happened to Kenneth Tear? Oh, he's gone off at the start-finish line. That's very weird. Has he just lost the car? What has happened here to Kenneth Tear?
Well, we're having a look. He came down. Oh, what? I think he might have had a hardware failure.
I don't know. I don't like the way his wheel is looking for starters, but there's been no damage to that car, and I reckon, yeah, something must have happened. He tapped the wall, the inside wall. Tapped the wall, the inside down the the classic start-finish straight, and then he just hit the grass. So I have no idea what's happened there to Kenneth Tear, and that is a shame. He was running in ninth, catching Jack Weddle there, but unfortunately, that's that. That's a shame.
Now, the one thing that we always talk about in these races is how's Raidillon doing? Raidillon's still doing good. Though, about Raidillon these days, unfortunately, there was that massive accident in the real 24s, I think it was, in the wet, involving 4 cars. Thankfully, every single one of them is A-okay, just, spooked, as you would. But it actually, and this is sort of the discussion point I want to sort of get down on paper is, I never, we've all seen Raidillon on iRacing. It's always a meme fest when it comes to the big 24 endurance, and there's always the big one at the start in one of the splits. Everybody will just get absolutely slam dunked by a car that has flown across the tarmac. But I'm also mindful of the fact that the crashes look startlingly similar on the real footage. I have seen the real footage, and oh my good God, is it awful.
Oh, it was. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. I saw it. The first I saw it was, the camera that people have been showing the accident on the side of the road. I actually saw a video of somebody recording what that camera showed before that camera uploaded it. And the first thing I said, and a couple of people said, was, Adam Huber, straight away. I just had, because I heard he got hit twice. And the moment I saw a car, Jack Aitken's car, in the middle of the road, first thing I thought was Huber. And it spooked me. It really spooked me. And you're right, on iRacing, we see the latest Twitch clip highlight video from a very familiar account. I think people will know it. I think I was 5 minutes into a 23-minute video or 19-minute video. Can't remember how long it was. And in that first 5 minutes, two of the clips were not Spa. It's a weird one. It is that one. It is that thing. Yourself, you're going up Eau Rouge and Raidillon. And even with the new off-track system that they brought into iRacing, which we haven't touched on, but we know we have touched on before, that is a place where the cars can really be unsettled. And yes, drivers can go too wide up there. You've got to really have some, you're really going to be having the steel marbles if you're going to be doing that. And it is really tough. And I think that's a lot of the issue is, can people do it? And we've also seen it as well. We were talking about Colin Ward having the battles with Brone, with Kluger. It all came down to Ward doesn't get a good run out of Raidillon. Because in these cars, you can't go flat out like in a prototype, like in a Formula, open wheel car. You can't go flat out. So you look at it and you think to yourself, you just got to be careful. You've got to be careful. People are going to be doing different speeds, and I think it does catch people out. It caught me out during a race earlier this week in the VRS series. The drivers in front were slower. I went to move over, and of course, the guy in front of me tried to do the exact same thing. So it does happen. It is a shame. It is a shame what happens there, because it's just the thing. You've got to give the respect, and it's a tough one to do. So that happened. I just want to. While we just were talking about this, it's an interesting point. I don't know what the fix is. Of course, go back to the old chicane days in '94. Remember the chicane up Eau Rouge and Raidillon in '94? Let's bring that back. But anyway, I'll tell you somebody who wants to bring some positions back. Eric Feet took a early pit stop. Obviously, he must be getting his short pit stop out of the way. Lost the position to Darren Buckle, I think, and Buckle's battling Kenneth Reeder. This is 15th and 16th as Feet came out in 17th because of the minute-long pit stop. Buckle's going to go side-by-side with Reeder. They're going to go side-by-side into Lecombe, and the move's great. And look at Feet. He's going to be getting this and just set himself up into Malmedy. Brilliant move there from Feet, realizing the situation, realizing Buckle was the faster car, and just getting past Kenneth Reeder. Great heads-up move there from Feet. It looks like he may be caught in traffic, but he's going to make moves.
Just a replay because the cameras missed it. And that was the move made through Lecombe on towards Malmedy into Bruxelles, and keeping it nice and tidy, chasing down in 16th position, chasing down 15th. Now he has made a pit stop, so he is going to, I think he's made the first proper pit stop.
Yeah, honest. It was definitely a pit stop for fuel. You could see it. Like I was saying, it was about 30 minutes into the race, so given a full tank is just over an hour, it looks like he went for the short pit right away. Don't know if he did it a bit too early. We'll wait and see later in the race, because you don't want to make a mistake on this track, because it's endurance pits, which means it's a minute and 25 cone to cone. But he has got to run on Darren Buckle here. He'll have to go around the outside inside for the bus stop, and I don't think Buckle's going to fight this, but I don't think Feeks realized it. They'll go a little bit side by side overlap in the middle of the bus stop. Eric will get that position. It puts him up into P15. That's a great little move there. He will have a little bit of battle with Darren Buckle. It puts him 22 seconds behind David Wilson Jr. That doesn't matter. He just has to keep that number down. 1 minute 27 between him and Adam Hacaponte. And like I said, if it was 126 cone to cone, I mean, I'm just doing my maths. That puts him, what, right behind Ananfakaponte if he pits? So just keep that for thinking. Just keep that for thinking right now, is that the HW Racing driver of Eric Feek looks to be making moves to try and catch Ananfakaponte.
Here's the question though: where does it start pushing again? Because he was in clear air behind Ananfakaponte since the start of the race. So I'm not sure what's gone on to really revitalize his race, other than, you know, it's a pit stop, so let's put the hammer down, refocus, really, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, he came out behind Buckham and Reader. He had to overtake them. So it wasn't even like he had something like JRT up and saw a gap in the in the traffic. He if he saw that, he would have known that he would have been behind them. So to me, that just seems really weird. A questionable move. Meanwhile, up ahead, David Wilson's overtaking Patrick Nice, and looks like he'll make a move on Marco Smith, and he will do. But just seems really weird to make a move that early. I understand, like I said, early pit stop. Get that short one out of the way and then do two big ones. Is that going to work though? Because now he's put himself in the situation where he has to hope it's only two big ones. Because at the moment they're looking at 63 laps. Wouldn't be surprised if that goes to 62 once we've had both pit stops, because Akaponte has not pitted. But also bear in mind, he's left his teammate out there. He was racing with Brandon Kluger, and now he's not tandem racing with his teammate out there, which again, I don't understand. What I don't understand as well, Colin Ward's lost the position to Jack Weddle. Now we've missed that.
It's because there's been an incident on this lap. Let me find it.
He'll find that, don't worry. Here he goes. Just watching it quickly.
Here we go, yeah.
Yeah, and there's something
he had
not
lost
right.
He had lost the position on the lap previously, but then what had happened was he had gotten just overcooked to coming into Lake Coombe, and we just see it here now, just sort of him trying to chase down. Oh, very, very... I think he is pushing a bit too hard, that car.
Yeah. I'll tell you how hard he's pushing, Rob. While you're watching that replay, he overshot Pujon. So he is making mistakes out there, but yeah, loses that position to Weddle. Weddle, by the way, is making a climb, because now he's got past Ward. He's now 2 seconds behind Jan Roney. So, Weddle, who started... sorry, Zimmerman, not Roney. Weddle, who did start, P13, now 6th. Really good race going on here from Jack Weddle as he's catching up to Zimmerman, who himself started 11th and is now 5th. 2 seconds between Zimmerman and Roney. 2.4 seconds between Weddle and Zimmerman. So that's going to be interesting just to see what happens between those two. No other battles going on at the moment. It's all strategic battles at the moment.
I just want to hear this Porsche upside.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I know.
It's beautiful. Not as good as the BMW.
No, this is so much. But how could you think the BMW sounds?
The new BMW sounds. We're gonna have we're fighting.
This is so much nicer to listen to. Oh my god, can you not hear every single part of this car? It's so much better.
But I love the low grunt the BMW gives you. Just that low. I love it. I mean, I'm not going to say the Porsche's bad. I'm not saying the Porsche's bad. But the moment they put the new sounds into the BMW, I was like, this is amazing. I feel like I'm in a race car. It was amazing. And the Porsche, the Porsche's good. But it does feel like a normal Porsche high whine engine. Where this BMW just sounds so unique.
I mean, come on. How could you say no to this sound? Come on. It just sounds like a proper Porsche.
I know!
It doesn't sound like the awfulness that it is the GTE version of this car.
But like I said, like, I'm not saying the Porsche's bad. I'd just take the BMW any day of the week.
Nope, I'd rather take this.
We shall agree to disagree, sir.
Okay, then, sir. Okay.
But no, interesting. Like you were saying about Raidillon, I know I joked about it. Remember 1994. Remember the chicane up Eau Rouge and Raidillon. I know, but it's like, to be fair, not just that. Just remember all the different modification tracks had that year. The
remember
chicane.
1999? The older style bus stop layout, which wasn't even a bus stop at all, was more like a joke.
Oh yeah.
Remember the rain that year and the start they had going down the hill, even before Raidillon.
Oh, they didn't even get to Raidillon.
They didn't even get to it.
Came out of the source and was just everybody dead. Sorry.
Everybody. It's like oh my word! This has to be the worst accident I have ever seen. The worst start to a Formula One race I have ever known.
Yeah, I miss Murray. But it was true. It was absolutely true. It was terrible. Really not good to see there, unfortunately. So it's just a shame. By the way, we just saw it there. Thanks to TrackCams 2-2 once again. But Adam continues that lovely gesture of racing for John. Beautiful to see. I've got to be brutally honest. I always love seeing that. It's kind of hard not to get a little bit choked up when you see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic just to see people still pushing with that. So just a quick, we're still racing for John. Just a quick heads up because John would love to see the racing everywhere. David Wilson Jr. catching Mike Gaunt. The gap's gone down to a second and a half. Marco Smith and Patrick Neese are behind them, just trying to catch on. Eric Feek is just in his own at the moment, hoping that this pit stop he did is working for him. Kluger is in a race of his own with Jan Brony and Brown, like 8 seconds between him on both sides. And Brony and Zimmerman is probably the closest battle. It isn't the closest battle. It was that David Wilson, Mike Gaunt we were on about, but we know that Zimmerman had tried to catch up to Brony. But most of these cars right now, as the temperature starts to raise to 21 Celsius. And I can see the light because I'm looking at the camera and just the sunlight on my 3060 graphics card and my ultra wide, just to make Rob a little bit jealous, just shining off the track. It looks fantastic, Rob.
It does, kind of. I mean, the issue comes when the light blinds you and you can't see where you're driving. Like this is the glare. Look at this.
I've not had that, but I will say, when we were doing the 24 Hours of Spa last weekend on iRacing, I did start to see the sun come in a little bit at Les Fonds, and I was starting to worry, thinking the end of my stint, I'm going to have the sun looking straight at me. After a lap, it actually cleared the trees, but then just went to the point where it wasn't hitting me because of the top visor, and I was like, well, that's a relief. So I was really getting worried there. It looks fantastic, sunset and sunrise at Spa. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, hands up if you hate driving in the sun. And speaking of driving in the sun, Rob, great segue here. August 22nd, we do the Southern 500 at Darlington Raceway. Why is that important? Because I did last year's NIS race, the NASCAR iRacing series. Darlington, the full length 364, I think it is, laps. And for 30 laps, almost 50, coming down the back straight, the sun was in all our faces and we couldn't see. And that's what they've got to get used to not next month, because we're in a couple of weeks, August 22nd. So that promises to be fun. Are you ready for more oval racing on the oldest track in America?
No.
Disclaimer, oldest oval in America.
No.
Oldest oval in America.
No. Oval. Okay. The last oval we did was very entertaining. I'll give you that. But I have still not changed my opinion that oval racing is just,
Well, Rob, I mean, just to give a preview for Darlington, there is multi-groove, there is different lines, but basically, they've always saying in the real world, if you don't have scrape marks on your car on the right-hand side, you're not driving Darlington right. They have to drive so close to the walls. Trust me, you might see some single car accidents and cautions. It's going to be like that, honestly.
Why though? That doesn't sound fun. That just sounds dangerous.
Trust me. It is a crazy track, and I will be honest to those people that drive ovals. It is one of the ovals I cannot drive just for that reason. I just do not have the confidence to race so close to the wall. And then I don't have the confidence to go too wide because there isn't a lot of space to go too wide around that oval. Hence why it's the oldest oval in America.
If you have to be straddling the wall almost, at the side of the wall almost, to get around the track, there is some serious issues there. What do you mean overtakes? What overtakes can you make?
Well, that happens August 22nd. During that time, all of us will have to try and convert Rob to the horrors that is Darlington. Like I said, it's not my favourite track. But we do have some racing on hand, Rob, as David Wilson just put in a 2:19.902, and for a split second, he was in the slipstream of Mike Gaunt. I'm not saying be careful, but that is the owner. I'm just saying, that might be the owner of the major city. Sorry, no. It's not the owner. What am I thinking?
You are a clown.
Mike Gaunt is. I'm thinking of Mike.
What you're thinking of? You're thinking of Mike Ula. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Excuse me 1 second. Why?
He's probably going to be watching this and laughing to himself.
Excuse me. Why? Just go and cane myself on the back with 50 lashes.
Oh, the old school treatment, the old school punishment.
That's another story. That's
back in day.
Back in day, what was it I heard that somebody said? Oh yeah, you can miss school to watch England play, but you'll get 50 lashes when you come back. Oh no, it was if you want to go out to watch something or please come and see us to take your 50 lashes before you go off school. The old days. But that's a different time, and we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this race because, like I said, Wilson just gone to the back of Mike Gaunt. Not happened at the moment, though. He was doing some really good laps. He's losing it. An hour and 33 remaining, which to me says they've done 50 minutes. So a normal tank of fuel around here is 28 laps. But because of everyone's, I don't know if you remember this, Rob, everyone's fuel calculator. So your fuel calculator might be a little bit off. So if it says 1.5, just be ready to clutch it as you're in the pit. So we're going to start looking at pit stops in the next 10 minutes at the earliest. And I mean proper ones, not Eric Feek pit stops. But hats off to Eric Feek. He's gained a lot of time on the likes of Patrick Nice. He gained another 3 seconds that last lap. He's 10 seconds behind Patrick Nice, and he is still on a minute 24. So I do feel that if Adam Facapont pits, Feek might be in a shot with the lead here. Might. It's a maybe. We'll wait and see.
Again, that is going to be Wilson chasing down Gaunt, essentially he's closed the gap quite a ways, and he will be within slipstream range practically for when he needs to strike, but he needs to be absolutely on cue, get this lap exactly right, and then make the overtake when he gets back onto the back straight coming up towards Lake Coombe. So it'll be interesting to see this one. Other battles we have are sort of proxies because it's all about pit stops now at this point, because Adam Facapont does not have the likes of Eric Feek in his sights, because Eric Feek has already taken a pit stop and he's actually down the pecking order quite a ways. Now he's taken the earliest pit stop, I think that was a proper pit stop, took fuel, all that kind of stuff, and made sure to get it in early, you know.
Get it in early, see if it works for him. It's a risk, but is it a risk reward? Like I said, we'll only see in the next 10-15 minutes when they come to the pits. We're still looking at 63 laps, by the way. That number has, if you're doing maths based on the average time that Adam's driving, 62.97 if you do the maths. Yes, I'm very fast with my calculator. I know, I'm amazing. Not really, I'm just using other statistics, but 62.97 would be a 63 lap race. That will go down though, because they've got to take 3 minutes in the pits overall because they do 2 pit stops. So take that 3 minutes away, it may even be 61. But that gives you a little bit of a stat. We're at 1 hour 30 minutes to go. And at this time in the real world, Rob, there was rain. Which brings me to one of the interesting things that was announced yesterday on iRacing. Rain is officially in development to the point that they have renders and they have in-game show of rain. And the talk from Greg Hill of iRacing yesterday during the 4 hours at Charlotte for MS was fantastic. I don't know if you saw it, but my word, it's just everything that they were looking into was fantastic. You haven't seen it, have you?
No, actually, that was the one thing that I have seen. I was very pog about it. You know, I liked it a lot. I just hope that they implement it fully all the way. By that I mean because the in-game renders and the work in progress screenshot they shared was of the McLaren MP4 dash whatever. The F1 car. The problem with that was those tires are not wet tires. They were medium tires, medium Pirelli tires.
Well, it was rendered on 3D Max. It was emitted, and one of the things they showed was their proper drawn wet tires. And that they're, one of the things they're having to work on is getting the whole idea of the water going through the grooves on the tire. One of the things I was really interested in was that they've taken all their designs of these curves, as we just see the cars going around. These curves around here, like the bus stop and stuff. And some of these do have drains, and they're actually now going in with values of, well, that's a small drain because it's an old part of a track, so it's not gonna take a lot of water, which means there's going to be a bit more puddles there. And here's a newer track with a bigger set of drains, so that's going to take more water. They're trying to get the whole drainage system. And also, one other thing was, I know it doesn't sound amazing, but localized rain, like, you'd love that. That's what you would expect to see. But the idea that when you've got other games that has all or nothing, and then you'll have localized rain, so like right now we're seeing these cars going down the Kemmel Straight, you're going to see cars that are, they're going to be dry, but then they'll get to Stavlot and it will be pouring with rain. And that's the type of thing you've got to see. And it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm really excited in that, especially seeing how they get in the rain, looking on the cars. A new set of tone lighting of lighting system as well because of it. It's all promising to be good. But another thing that they said, because I could talk all day about this rain, I was so excited. LMDH. They're trying to talk to teams about an LMDH.
Good. So they realized that the proper method is to go with the LMDH instead of these blasted hybrids.
Well, yeah, especially with LMDH is going to be like what many of the IMSA teams will be driving, right? And that they've got this relationship with IMSA, the IMSA Haggerty series. Why not?
Why don't they just, if they have that relationship, why don't they just get, they just throw like the range?
Well, a lot of the issues, as we know from previous, is that some teams don't like giving up the data because then they have all the data. iRacing does not want to do, and it's not a knock at other sims, do not want to make the car and then put their own data. They want all the proper data, which meant that some teams were like, yeah, but then if we give you that, the other teams have our data. So that's what that's some of the issues that they've been battling with. By the way, while we're talking about this, pit stop battles are happening. Jack Whittle, Adam Vaccaponte has not pitted. Colin Ward pitted. He just... Oh, Colin Ward, sorry! I just split the Colin Ward. I've not cursed him. He hit the inside wall. Oh, no. He hit the inside wall. Say it ain't so.
On the exit or on the entry?
At the bend in the pit lane. That's not good.
Oh! Let's replay that again. This is him in the pits. Colin Ward coming in. He'll have to go all the way around now and get to his box. But just watch what happens if you take too much speed here.
Oh, and there's Eric Feek, by the way, going on. Eric Feek went on, and he is now technically P2, as we thought would happen. So good going there from Eric Feek, taking that early pit stop. Adam Vaccaponte did a 2:17.724 last lap. That is a blistering fast lap for this level, and in he comes to the pits. Got to watch that. We got to watch that. We'll keep an eye. But as we were saying, while we're just watching Vaccaponte go into the pits, it's one of those things that, iRacing, they've had this push and shove before from teams, but I think what's happened over the last 18 months or 12 months may have helped iRacing in terms of like the respect they've got. So we may start seeing these ideas. It's interesting that the GT cars, they're fine with data, but when it came to these LMPs, some of them were not happy with it, and it's why as well it took a while for an LMP2 to come into iRacing. A DPI, they've tried and they haven't been able to. Even though, funny enough, the Dallara LMP2 can be converted into a DPI. That's another story for another day. It's just very interesting to see what goes on here. So we keep watching around.
Wait, how can that be converted to a DPI?
The real life car has a DPI model.
Right. But
So,
what changes? Does the bodywork change? Does the engine change?
I have read this before. I have actually read this before, and I've got to find it. But it was something about that they could change. It does have a DPI variant that I think it's like a different aerodynamic package and a different engine. Again, not entirely sure. One of the things I'll have to check. Adam Vaccaponte does come out. Jack Weddle yet to pit. Out of curiosity, Eric Feek is just crossing the source, so it did not work out as Adam Vaccaponte does a 1:26. Eric Feek continues, but he will be battling as Mike Gaunt again. He hasn't pitted. He's 18 seconds ahead of Mike of Eric Feek, and Eric Feek will have to battle 15 seconds with Jack Weddle. But yeah, I'll have to find the information. I did hear that it could be converted, but do not quote me on that. It's not like a official tweaking. A Daytona prototype international variant of the car has been developed in a partnership with General Motors. So there you go. The Cadillac DPI VR is actually a variant of the Dallara LMP2. There you go.
Yeah, but it still doesn't answer my question of like what's changed. What's the difference between the two models? Like, what would iRacing if iRacing were to be like, all right, instead of the Dallara LMP2, it'd be the Dallara DPI. Instead of having it's always a DP, it's always a DP. What that man incident?
So, first of all, they would have to, convert it and get the license from Cadillac because it's no longer Dallara, it's Cadillac. That's one thing. Number two, the difference between the two of them, the Dallara is a 4.2 V8 from Gibson. The Cadillac DPI VR is a 5.5 litre V8 that Cadillac has made with a company called ECR Engines. Apart from that, it is mainly just a change of tyre company, a different look in terms of the front. It's a little bit the nose, as we know, it's a little bit longer, a little bit lower down, but the rear is practically identical. But yeah, it is a variant, so it's just really a change in the engine and just a change in the look of the car for aerodynamic purposes. Which makes it, what was, I'm not sure the brake horsepower for a P217, but the DPI is about 600 brake horsepower. I would reckon the Dallara is probably about 500? Anyway, pit stops have been going on. Jack Weddle and Mike Gorn, probably the last of the leaders to come in for the pit stops. Corbin Solomonson also comes in for the pit stop. That will allow Adam Faccaponti to take the lead again. He's got Mike Gaunt behind him, and that will soon be Eric Feek, and Eric Feek will be 20 seconds between Faccaponti and Feek. So has that early pit stop worked for Eric? I don't think so.
Jesus, with the sunlight, I thought Adam Faccaponti had just gotten immensely wide through on. I was about to freak out. I was like, no, Faccaponti, please. Not the mistake now.
Not the mistake he needs. But yeah, he's been comfortable. He's been very comfortable.
The mistake is that you don't that your home telephone does not have a silence button.
I mean, it might. It doesn't. I'm not going to put do not disturb because then it puts do not disturb everywhere. So.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
We've got more than one phone, Robert. This is the future. It's still cordless and wireless.
Oh, Robert, we've got the future in our house.
We've got the future. It's called a landline.
Imagine, back in the day, that was the future. The landline was the future. And oh my God, you can pick it up and make a phone call with it. All that kind of stuff.
Right. We're watching this nice little battle between Andy Banfield and Thorsten Zimmerman. Not entirely sure where the positions are because everyone is taking different pit stops at the moment. Rob's got it better than I do, but these two are battling, and they have been battling since the pit stops.
Well, technically, they actually are. They are battling for position. They pitted nearly at the same time, but Zimmerman took a much longer pit stop. He was about 30 seconds longer.
Oh, if he's 30 seconds long, you know what that means.
He just took tires.
He's taking tires. So that's an accidental tick there from Zimmerman. But then again...
Well, I mean, accidental tick by Zimmerman, Klug, Brown, Ward, Putt, Wilson Jr., Wolf Dietrich, Patrick Nice.
All right. Maybe I forgot to say that during the evening stint, I took the tires in a full hour to 69%, okay? So maybe it's not, but then it does make you think. Did you say Eric Feek took the tires? He didn't, did he?
Eric Feek, where is he?
There was a 126 with Adam Faccaponti.
No, neither Faccaponti or Eric Feek took tires.
Or Brony. None of them took tires, and from what I remember from our race, we did have a couple drivers decide that they would double stint their tires, and yeah, they got the 20 seconds ahead of us, but they lost that 20 seconds almost the moment we overtook them. So the tire life is going to be hard, especially when it comes around a lot of these corners. The front engine cars as well, like Brony and Feek, with the McLaren and the Mercedes. Sorry, the BMW and the Mercedes. That front's going to be absolutely destroyed, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can. One of the things they probably could have done to rectify that is if they weren't going to take all four tires, maybe just take the fronts. Because the fronts would be the ones taking most of the damage because of the weight of the front. It's just an idea. It's an idea that has been tried, has been tested, not fully. But, I don't know, would you ever, that's an interesting question, would you ever take two front tires instead of double stinting? No?
No.
Really? So even if the fronts were 70 and the rears were 89, would you double stint?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because it's much better to have tires that are to the car and not have mix and match. Just it wouldn't work.
You would be terrible in ovals. You would be terrible.
Yeah, because ovals are not proper tracks. They're just an oval. You just go left. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I stand by my conviction.
Robert O'Brien saying that an oval is not a track.
I'm about to get my head's about to roll on the ground. You know, people are gonna be like, "No, stop it, stop it."
But you can see though, is Zimmerman taking the tires and Banfield not? Banfield's not being able to catch up to Zimmerman. Now those tires are in their optimal temperature. So who's catching?
Yeah,
them now?
but I mean, like, the track temperature. What was like?
It started 19. It's at 21, but the tires are still going to take a lot of damage.
Well, I mean, at Daytona, when the track temperature is like about this temperature, you could quad stint them at one point in time.
Oh, there goes Banfield wide, and they're going to be side by side coming out of a source and down the hill. And I think Banfield's just going to accept it. He will go back. Yeah, I understand that. But you've also got to understand the heavy braking that you get in these cars around this track. The high deg that you'll have, especially when you're taking the speed.
What is turn one at Daytona? Probably one of the most punishing in terms of braking.
Yeah, but okay. What about Lake Coombe? What about Lake Four? What about Pujon?
Lake Coombe is just a straight line braking. With Daytona's turn one, you're on a bank, so your tires are a bit upset already. You're banking, braking into a left-hander. Your car has to essentially turn in a very awkward way. I guarantee you, it's a lot. There's a lot more deg that comes from that one corner, than from a lot of these corners here. I double guarantee it.
Yeah. I would like to see the tire wear from these drivers after this first stint. I think some of these drivers taking tires now. I think it's the right thing, but I do feel that you're going to see tires being taken again by everybody on the second set. Just guessing. That's what I would feel, but you can see Weddle just company take Banfield. Banfield just having a little bit of a wide moment at the source early at the lap. Banfield was, sixth when he was battling with Zimmerman, not taking the tires, and you can just see now it's not worked for him. But I am curious. Where Jan is. He is in P3. He had an invalid last lap. He's 30 seconds behind Eric Feek. For Adam Vaccaponte with the old tires, 2:18.763 last lap. Eric Feek without new tires, 2:19.758. Sean Brown, new tires, 2:19.205. They may not be showing a pace right now. Come back to me in 20 laps and let's just see where Brown, Kluger, Zimmerman are.
Basically within the last what?
20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
With the last 20 minutes of their second fuel stint. Come back to me, and we'll see. And I'll accept defeat. But I think you may see a difference near the end of the race, near the end of the stint.
Are we there yet?
Then we get an hour and 13 and some to go. This is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. If you like what you see, hit that thumbs button, hit that thumbs up button. Sorry, there are two thumbs there. Hit that thumbs up button, please. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more from us. Like I said, Major Series will be back August 22nd with the.
We also have the. I think it's the final round of the Predator Series.
Final round of the Predator Series, exactly as well. Yes, that promises to be fun because anybody can win that. At the moment, and Predator will be. Now, am I right in thinking it is VIR? VIR, isn't it? It was, and I was accidentally saying VAR. It is, yeah. August 29th, the week after the Southern 500. It will be it will be Darlington, and then followed by VIR in the Predators, which there is no confirmed winner yet. Which is fantastic to see. We still don't know who's going to win that after the results standings were just flipped upside down almost and shaken around and put back normally, and the snow globe said, I don't know where you put everything, because Mazda did not win the last race. So that promises to be something to keep our eyes on. I can't wait. Have you ever done racing at I said it again, VIR, Virginia International Raceway? I haven't.
No. Also, VAR, isn't that like the system, the virtual
system,
the virtual assistant referee?
Yeah.
Have you got football on the brain?
Let's just say there was a lot of incidents in the Euros. And, you know, Premiership football gets a lot of VAR in England, so it's a very heated thing that people talk about. So I don't want to talk about it, man. I don't want to talk about it. But what I will talk about, VIR.
Oh, do you know what I want to talk about? I'm going to talk about this right now. The guys over at r/i Racing, they when Greg Hill was showing off the rain.
Oh yes.
The Ferrari Evo GT3. Oopsie daisy there.
Hey, fair play. That's a great spot by people. It's a great spot, full stop, because Greg was having to screen share on a stream on a program. It's a video conference program, really, when we think about it, and the quality wasn't that good because when he was showing off the driving, the sim and that software didn't really agree, and we were looking at 3 FPS. Which didn't help. We were looking at somebody drive around with mouse controls, which I've never seen, which was really fun to see. I've got to be brutally honest.
How can they drive around with mouse controls?
Do you actually know how mouse controls work?
You kind of hold and drag, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, Ferrari Evo GT3. That's really cool to see an updated Ferrari. Now we can get an updated Audi. That'd be great. An updated McLaren. That'd be great. Little steps.
Well, do you know what's even worse? We're probably going to be 100 million meetings. Be like, how in the hell did we forget to not hype that?
I don't think he minded because he was very open. It was nice to see iRacing open with what they were showing. Just to see so many things that were in development.
What else was confirmed?
I'll tell you what else was confirmed today. And I think iRacing wins today's social media tweet of the day for the F1. Because after what happened at the start of the F1 race, they sent a tweet out saying, very soon you'll be able to take it easy into turn 1, just like the Hungary Grand Prix.
Yeah,
because
they showed,
but we knew it was in production, or we knew they had scans. What they showed was it's almost built. They were showing us the start-finish straight with still the scan points still down the bottom, but they've started building it. They've started building it from the scan, which is brilliant. And who knows? That may come next patch. We don't know. Watkins Glen has been scanned. That will be next year. The new a rescan of Watkins Glen. So that will be in production. Oh, sorry, no, not next year. Sorry, that was Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They rescanned Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's coming next year. No timetable on Watkins, but being that NASCAR go to Watkins next week, would not surprise me if we'll see it not as early as next week, but maybe season 4, if not season 1.
No.
It's all happening. But it's not happening at the moment out there on track. The battles, unfortunately, are very elongated, but Andy Banfield has just had that looks like an issue for Andy Banfield. Now, he's gone down the order a little bit, as he just had to serve a slowdown because he's just lost a position. Not entirely sure, but he's lost a position to Tom Van Put. Can't see anything, but he did a 2:24 last lap. Dare I say, he does not have any damage. Please don't say you have damage. Can't see any damage at the moment, but
Unless you've just cursed a man, and now he has damage.
Please no.
Have you just cursed a man? Yeah, he does have that. I think he. Oh, on. Sorry, are you talking about Andy Banfield's car?
Yeah.
I thought that rear end didn't look correct.
It looks a little bit scraped from paint damage, but cannot tell. What has happened on the lap previous might give us an idea, but he has been a little bit slow. No, can't see anything, so no idea what's happened to Andy. But he's losing positions now. Oh, but it is old tyres, isn't it? Just saying, old tyres.
It's like you're grasping at straws. It's like Banfield can still do this. He can still do this.
I'm not saying Banfield can still do it. I'm just saying the old tyres are starting to kick in. I can dream. A man can dream.
Yeah, right.
But maybe that's why Eric Feek took an early pit stop. I'm just trying to do it like a 500 IQ decision here. What if Eric
Don't
Feek...
say a 500 IQ decision again. Ever again. Oh
what
my
if?
God.
What if? Okay, what if? Hypothetical. Let me talk you through a hypothetical. He didn't pit early to do his short stop first. He pitted early to get 2 long stints where he could not take tyres now. Do you see what I mean? He didn't take tyres after a 30-minute stint. So he'll be doing an hour and a half on that set of tyres. Then he'll do an hour on a new set of tyres. Just saying. I'm just saying, maybe he's trying to gain some time there because, look, he's 32 seconds ahead of Jan Roney. All right, he's 28 seconds behind Anna Facaponte. But what if? What if?
So what you're saying is, and let me get this straight. You just want him to do very, very well.
I want all of them to do very well.
No, not everybody can come first.
I get that. I get that. We still only have 4 retirements this race. Stuart Eldon might be a retirement. He's in the pits currently. Yeah, that might be a retirement there. So call that 5 retirees at the moment. We still got Thomas Siebenagel with a car that is... he's just spun. I don't think that car's drivable. Don't think that car is very drivable at the moment.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. That does not look like a very happy car.
No. No, someone tells me that car is...
Yes. Yeah, and he turns left, and the car... Yeah, that is one very, very broken car.
Yeah. So, that might be one that just retires shortly, but he is still driving around. We have only 12 cars on the lead lap as I say that.
The worst thing is, he's already taken his fastest repair. You can't use it. You can't get another repair. All of them have one spare car.
And you'd think, unless Colin Ward didn't have much damage, he would have taken a fast repair after hitting the wall in the pit lane. So,
Colin Ward, I think with the tire change that he had, he would have gotten if it was less than 15 seconds, he would have gotten
he would have got
repair.
it free.
Yeah, he would have gotten it for free.
So that's fine. That's fine. Just want to keep an eye out for it at the moment. Sean Brown. Ambroni did a 2:24.70 last lap. And it'd be interesting to see what he does when he comes out onto the start-finish line this time. But he lost a second to Sean Brown, and that gap's gone down to 5.8 now. So maybe Bruni is starting to struggle with these tyres, and Sean Brown is starting to tighten the screw. That'll be one to keep an eye out for, because that's for P3 in the race. So hold on there, because we'll just see another 2:19.943 for Brony. Sean Brown, the 2:18.857. Yeah, I think Sean's starting to catch Jan there. I think the BMW there, the HW Racing BMW there of Sean Brown is starting to catch Jan Brony. We'll keep our eyes on that one. But apart from that, where's the battles?
I'm just thinking now, because Ponti is just on his own, really, at this point. You look at him.
Absolutely crazy how far ahead he is.
He's just out there, chilling, you know. He hasn't crossed off the pro on the back of that card, though, because this isn't the pro split, it's the sportsman split.
All right.
The
I can.
proper split.
Oh, calm. I hear you. Slamming it. I know. It happens. Just let it go.
It happens to the best of us, I know.
So Sean Brown does have the speed in catching Ambroni, but there are 2 lap cars who are both battling each other: Jason Lottridge and Kenneth Reeder in 18th and 19th. So if he wants to get by them, he wants to get and catch up to Jan to get on the podium. Kind of gotta get around a couple lap cars, which, especially where he is at the moment, isn't the easiest for things to do. He's coming into campus and then Stavlot, and that'll be the rundown into Blanchemont. So he'll get by Kenneth Reeder because Kenneth might let him through before the bus stop. In fact, with Slipstream, I think he will do. He'll get ahead, but he'll lose a little bit of time trying to catch up to Jason Lottridge. Lottridge's last lap, what did he do? Oh, as I say that, Lottridge has spun. No! I just flick over to him and he spun at the exit of Blanchemont. Oh, no, I've cursed enough a man. Rob.
Here's the replay of the poor incident that just happened and the cursing that took place. And there's the curse. Oh, and did he strike the wall? Yes, he did. He struck the wall in the front right. Yes.
I watched RaceSpot Monday, the WCGT, right? WGTC, sorry, the World Grand Prix Championship, right? And I made a point to the guys at RaceSpot. You've got to have a wooden table. You've got to knock on it. I've not done that at all today.
Nope. Neither have
I. So, if RaceSpot's watching, I highly doubt I'm not that good enough for RaceSpot to notice me.
No! Guess who else has just spawned?
Oh no!
Eric Feek.
That is quite a spin, but he's only lost. Well, I say only. He's lost 7 seconds to Yamroni and Adam Facaponte. 8 seconds, I beg your pardon. And almost had to let another car go by. He let Patrick Neese and Kenneth Tier by. But yeah, I think now it's getting a little bit treacherous for some of these drivers who maybe not be on new tyres. There you go. I said it. I reckon the old tyres are starting to give way. I said it.
Wait, what?
I just said I think the older tyres are starting to give way.
Well, yeah, it's been an hour and 20 minutes now at this stage.
Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm right.
So what you're saying is they'll have to come in for a stop then?
No, what I'm saying is they'll have to take tyres in the next stop. Speaking of that, Eric Feek has come in.
He was the earliest pit stop, so he'll have to come in now.
That's 23 laps. That's still not a full. But there's 57 minutes. He can go to the end on one more pit stop. So, yeah, he's playing it safe. He can go to the end. That spin will not have helped him. And he was 47, so it's about an hour. It's about 2 minutes. I'm just looking where that would put him. That would put him about 12th. He won't get lapped by Adam, but it would put him about 11th or 12th overall. Around between Mike Gaunt, David Banfield, I think around that area. But yeah, in theory, he will take tyres.
Jan Brony and Sean Brown passing him into pits. I think one of the next few to pit. They will either be pitting now and doing the short stint now, or the short stint at the end of the race. So it'll be interesting to see. If either of these two do that.
I'm just going to watch. Yeah. I'm just going to watch Eric Feek go up on the track. I'm just going to pop away quickly from the microphone. Rob will get you up to date. I'm just going to see if he goes on the chat, but Rob will keep you up to date. Like I said, not a lot going on at the moment, but you never know. Stranger things have happened, but Rob will lead you for a couple minutes while I
Yeah, sure thing.
just do some other things.
Eric Feek. He's taking tires. What's wrong with his engine? What is that effect? I've never seen that before. I just want to see that again. Sorry. Were those his brakes on fire? Goes up onto the jacks. Oh, the rear left decided to start spinning. Oh, that's why. Good investigation work, gentlemen. Good investigation work. As he comes back out into P12, I think it is. He's just come back out into it. Now, he will be sort of trying to aim for the ballpark of getting into second and sticking there. He's 30 seconds, relatively speaking, 30 seconds behind Adam Facciaponti. And Adam Facciaponti has himself now come into the pits. He is going to the end now. He is going to do what Eric Feek has done and taking tires now. And not taking them on the first pit stop as the others have done. So that the field has now begun to contract once again, because Sean Brown will have to keep these tires to the end and not take the risk of a pit stop. He'll have to keep going on these tires, especially given the fact that in no uncertain terms, if the tire wear is worse than we are expecting, which is going to be a bit of a surprise for me because it's usually pretty good around here at lower temperatures, that will directly feed into who had actually gotten the tire strategy right. You know, who's who in this case would have been the likes of Eric Feek and Facciaponti. Have the both of them made the right choice, or has the likes of Sean Brown, Zimmerman, have they taken the right step? And on the first pit stop, all those laps ago, have they taken the right choice of taking tires at the first pit stop, then running to the end on that set of rubber? It is going to be interesting to see. What?
I was gonna say it is gonna be interesting to see what happens with this whole tire thing. I was quite intrigued at the likes of Facciaponti and Brony taking their pit stop now. Of course, you can go to the end, but it does throw you into the lion pit, because now Adam's gone for the pit stop. He knows he can go to the end, but he's in traffic. So yeah, he knows he's faster, and that's not a knock at these drivers. He knows he's faster than Van Putt and Ward in front of him, 7 and 9 seconds respectively in front of him. Does he get held up? All right, he's got 30 seconds to play with. But does he get held up? Because you don't want that to happen. Nobody wants to be held up with traffic, but it does happen around here. We talked about at the start of the race with some of the earlier battles we had. So can he maintain this? Can he keep up with it? Especially when you look at it, the gap between Ward and Van Putt is 1.5 seconds. So it's clear that shortly these two are going to be battling. Whether or not there'll be a heavy battles or not, and we know what can happen between drivers in battle. For Sean Brown, as you were saying, he has to make these tyres last. I don't think it's going to be doable. I mean, the track temp's still 21 Celsius. It's not gotten hotter. It won't get hotter. Statistically, the coldest time of the day is 30 minutes after sunrise. We're still at sunrise. So this is the point where the track will get hotter, but it'll only be a couple degrees. We're not talking from 21 up to 30. we're talking about 21 down to 20, up to 23, 25. Shouldn't be a lot of wear. Brown should be okay to go out for the rest like that. But yeah, he is doing 219s right now at the end of the stint, especially with a heavy fuel tank at the start of it. Maybe struggling. Just saying, maybe.
How much is maybe?
He start the stint. He'll be doing high 19s, low 20s, and he'll probably stay at those high 19s or maybe get to the mids, like a 19.7 or a 19.6. Maybe get those pace at the end of the stint, because remember, BMW front engine, so those front tires are going to be hurting. Fuel tank is in the back. That does kind of help with the weight, but the engine is always going to be heavier than a tank of fuel. So he may struggle, and there will be, and this is your favorite word around here, Rob, I know it, maybe a bit more understeer.
Or as they call it in the business, no. Because
one of the
nobody wants understeer. Nobody wants it.
One of the things you've always said around here, I love when you always bring this up, and I'm going to take it away from you this time, is that a lot of these drivers, they're battling to stop the understeer in these cars around Spa. Spa is is an understeer heaven, and that's not in a good thing. I know some drivers like the understeer, but you're fighting to prevent the understeer around here. Like Bruxelles, No Name, Les Fawns, even really at Lake Coombe at some point. You're trying to stop yourself having a lot of understeer. So when the tires start to get a little bit ripped up, that's when you get the understeer. So we'll wait and see. Sean Brown, though, 20 seconds in the lead from Brandon Kluger. But the highest driver who has pitted is Adam Faccaponte. That's crazy.
Once again, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
He just does his business, He just be like, oh, that's what's it called? Oh, my brain has just had a brain fart. He's just doing Faccaponte things,
Sorry, I was just looking at something very wholesome from the F1 today. I don't know if you've seen the F1 result.
I know I have. I don't think
I have.
I don't think people will be. I think people will be very surprised. Let's put it that way.
I mean, we can give it away, surely, because we know a lot of people were watching it before the race. But
Hamilton is no longer the GOAT. My new GOAT is Alonso. Thank you for listening.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the wholesome thing I saw was George Russell was crying in the interview area.
But what?
Why was he crying, you will ask? He finally did it, Rob.
He finally got his points.
He finally got a point for Williams. And not only that...
He got 2.
It's kind of a joke. That every time everyone focuses on Russell and no one focuses on Latifi. Latifi got P8. George got P9. They both got points. All right, Latifi's going to beat Russell. It just worked out for Latifi.
I'm going to stop you there. Russell, no without a shadow of a doubt, is the much better driver of the two of them. I'm sorry.
No. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not saying that.
And what I saw, and it was just like, there was some comments. It's like, Lamau, Russell putting all that work, yeah, he gets less points than Latifi. Latifi go, and it's like, have you not seen the performances he put in this year? Like, he's made a car that is okay. It was extremely difficult for the car to drive the car. I mean, far be it from me to say that it's worse than the Haas, because the Haas is just genie macaronis. It's very bad.
Yeah, but like, I'm not saying that because we all know Russell, is that guy that's going to be penned in to take over the Mercedes seats next season, so they say. But you can't deny Latifi is a good driver. You know what I mean? Like, he still works. He's just been consistent. All right, he doesn't get the highlights that Russell gets, but
Russell's go.
You still got to give credit.
Sorry. Russell's
Yeah, I know.
go.
But you still got to. Yeah, I know. But you've got to give credit where credit's due to Latifi. Is what I'm saying. But credit has got to go to the Alpines. I can't believe I heard the French anthem, and furthermore, I can't believe I only heard one anthem. When was the last time we heard one anthem? Was when Lewis Hamilton was driving for McLaren. Yeah. We haven't heard a one anthem podium in a decade. And that to me was something really, really nice to really feel, because the first time since Alan Prost in, I think it was 86, was it 87? The first time that a French driver has won in a French car. But it's, you know, it's just, it blows the mind, you know, when you think about it. It just to see how long it's been. But what a drive from Ocon. But as we were saying, what a drive from Fernando Alonso.
Yeah,
I can't believe I was seeing defending
in a much worse car, showing up Hamilton for all those laps, because they were just like, you know, in the radio, you know, James was like, okay, Lewis, we're gonna be thinking of lap 60 was when we're fighting for the lead, and then it's just like Hamilton's just there going, not if I have anything to say about that.
Well, I don't want to then mention something about Hamilton, but I did see a quote from from Chris Medland, right?
Right.
Hamilton was with the doctors after the race.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looked like he had not the funniest time, the funnest time up on that podium, but at the very same time, I would have said that, you know, given the fact that
he was suffering from fatigue and dizziness.
Yeah, but
the fatigue we understand from the racing. You could hear it when he was racing.
Yeah,
the dizziness is a bit concerning. I don't know if you agree. I know it's like racing and high G's and everything, but the dizziness is something different. If you see what I mean.
I mean, to be fair, like he's put in much stronger performances at much more like the problem with the Hungaroring is for these cars it is impossible to overtake. Yeah.
Well, speaking of an overtake, we've just seen one.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, the cameras didn't see it.
Well, Van Put just made an overtake at no name on Colin Ward. Colin Ward did not have a good Brussels, and Colin Ward has gone down the order. We said that those two could be battling, and Adam Fittipaldi is only 8 seconds behind them, so he is catching.
He's catching quickly, yeah. But going back to my point, right? You know, I would have said, and I will stick by this. It's like, I think back to when Senna had his massive, like, Senna was like, unable to get out of the car from literally coming from last to first on a track that is exceptionally demanding but still passable. The Hungaroring, I would have said that is not very demanding comparative, and I think a lot of it is down to, I think Lewis is, I think he's mistaking physical fatigue for mental fatigue.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's an.
I think he was also being a little bit of a drama queen, because he has put in much more exceptional performances and has looked a lot, like almost like he just ran a marathon and wants to run another,
Yeah, I know what you mean, and you could hear, like, I can always tell when Hamilton is really on it, because you hear him breathing down the microphone. When you know he's having to push, you can hear him really putting the effort in. That's all you heard. And if he was having fatigue and dizziness, it must have happened during the race, because there were times, because he said, we're on lap 53, and they had to say, no, that's how many laps are left. Then he had to say, we're P4, no, we're P5. At times, he didn't know where he was.
Well, I would attribute that down to they're going around in cars. They don't have information. Like, they wouldn't have information of what. Like, it depends on the dash now, but like I'd imagine on most dashes, I don't think you really give a damn about what lap it is. I don't think you really need to know what lap it is, as long as you know where you are, who you're chasing. Maybe he was counting. Maybe he was counting it in his head, or maybe I don't know, or maybe he was just like if he was having issues at that far back at the race, he should have been pulled over for it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm being honest, because at that point he's not a safe driver; he's a very dangerous driver. So, and every single one of us knows that Mercedes uses the radio more than anybody else to create a disturbance in the force. So,
yeah,
I think to carry it through. Now, I'll be more than happy to eat my own words in this, but I think a lot of it is genuine, but I mean, I think there's a little bit of a drama queen element, because I mean, especially given the fact that turn 1 was bananas.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that turn 1, where Valtteri Bottas missed his braking point, locked up, went to the back of Lando Norris, who then started pinball effect. Valtteri Bottas handed a 5-place grid penalty for the next race, as Lance Stroll as well for his.
Because Lance Stroll did the exact same thing. Bottas should have been given a 10th place. I'm sorry, like it's
a 10th
turn
place penalty.
1. Turn 1 lap 1. Turn 1 lap 1. You make a mistake like that. Are you mad? You barking mad?
You can only hand 10-place grid penalties out for part changes, and that's in the FIA rules. It's just like, now here's the one that I can't get over. We're talking about penalties, right? Antonio Giovinazzi gets a 10-second stop and go for speeding in the pit lane. Stop and go means he has to serve it in 3 laps. Kimi Räikkönen gets an unsafe release, takes out Nikita Mazepin. 10-second penalty added to your time or added to your pit stop. I'm sorry,
but that's a stop and go.
No, it isn't.
But you can serve a stop and go. You just have to stop in your pit box and then
I know.
Wait 10 seconds.
A stop and go is you are forced to come in. You can't do a pit stop. You are forced to come in and serve it. A 10-second penalty, you don't have to serve it. You just get 10 seconds added to your time. Or if you do come in, it's 10 seconds, you wait in the box, then you can have a pit stop. A stop and go is different. It's a severer penalty. What I'm saying is, unsafe pit release, speeding in the pit, they're both serious offences in the pit lane, and Kimi gets a lenient, I don't know if that's the word, penalty, if you see what I mean.
I mean, to be fair, as far as people it was to happen to, I mean, I hate to say this, but I mean, Nikita, I mean, it's probably the best that it wasn't anybody else.
Wow. Wow. It's a shame, though. You don't want to see anybody's race ended with an accident like that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the very same time, I still hold my views. He shouldn't be on that grid. I'm sorry, he shouldn't be on the grid.
Well, I am going to say, though, from everything that Esteban Ocon has been through, to get that win was so thoroughly deserved. Not just for the whole of Alpine, not because of Fernando Alonso. I mean, I already was having some I'm not crying you are moments at the Olympics right before the race started. And then that happens where everyone's so happy for Ocon. Alonso comes over and hugs him and they celebrate with the team. Vettel comes over and he says, I pushed you so hard, and gave him an embrace. Lewis came over and said, well done. Just to see the camaraderie when somebody like that comes and wins the race was just fantastic to see. But with 37 minutes to go, Colin Ward and Tom Van Put are still battling at the moment. And yes, that was Colin Ward looking like he wanted to make a move into Brussels. This is where he lost that P5 to Van Put a few laps ago. They I'm thinking would be coming in for a pit stop in the next 20 minutes, maybe 15. We've got to see. They pitted lap 25, that lap 46. So 10 minutes. 10 minutes, basically, will be crucial to see. That's Eric Feek, Adam Fataponte thing. the gap's 30 seconds. So I think Eric's just going to have to concede P2 at the moment. I don't think he's catching Adam. Knock on wood, of course. For
Wait,
Adam,
why is he? No, you're saying he's conceding P1, not P2.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I was about to say, I was
conceding
like,
and keeping.
Who is he conceding P2 to? Hello?
Yeah, conceding and keeping P2 would probably be the better word. But yeah, that's it. By the way, Thomas Siebernagel in that destroyed Audi did retire a few.
As has Kenneth Tier, yeah. Well,
yeah,
you remember when we saw Stuart Elder in the pits? He's back out.
Wow.
He's exceptionally damaged, but he's there.
The missed apex boy with this fan. What is it, ladies? Okay, hang on. I'm having a livery debate right now. Just as I start thinking about putting a crystal/diamond pattern on my cars, I've now seen 3 different cars with the same type of pattern on their cars. It looks amazing. Yes, I'm not going to deny that. I'm just very jealous. But the missed apex boys with another fantastic livery. And if you look at the back of the car for Elder, it looks fantastic. If you look at the front, that Lambo is not right.
Yeah, well, because it's had damage.
I know. It's a shame. It looks so nice from behind. The rear of the car, the rear of the Lamborghini looks nice full stop. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Oh, are you... Well, hang on.
What?
You agree with me?
Yeah, Lamborghini looks very nice.
Wow.
Very nice car.
Oh, wow. Tom Van Putt came in for a pit
It'd
stop.
look even better with guns, missiles, and like just, the typical crazy Italian, work done to it. Like, like a jet aircraft strapped to the back of it.
I'm just saying, Italy won the gold medal in the high jump and the gold medal in the 100 meter sprint today. They don't need anything else. They just need pronto. Pronto, Lambo.
Pronto, Lambo.
Yeah.
Don't do Espinala.
Now, by the way, shout out to Italy though. While we're talking about the Lamborghini, shout out to that. A gold medal in the long jump, in the high jump. Sorry, in a fantastic story for the Italian jumper who missed out on the Rio Olympics because he broke his leg. To the point, I don't know if you saw this, Rob. He kept the cast and he wrote on the cast "Road to Tokyo 2020." Then had to cross 2020 out and put 2021 for his final jump because he knew if he didn't make it, there'd be a tie between him and the Qatar athlete for gold. He knew he basically jumped with his cast beside him,
right?
And that cast never left the ground, even when he was celebrating. It still stayed there. But it was just a great story, and because they both missed. They said you can either have a jump off between the two of you, or you two can just accept the gold. And the Italian went, "Do you have a second medal?" And they just accepted. They won the gold medal together. And then, literally 10 minutes later, the Italian shocks the world, literally the world, with the 100-meter sprint gold medal. An Italian winning the 100 meters. I don't know if you realize how big of a deal that is. It would be like Ireland when they won a rowing gold medal.
It wasn't a gold medal, it was a bronze, wasn't it?
No, you won gold, didn't you? You
oh.
got a gold medal in the rowing.
Oh, we did. I think we did. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't watch the Olympics. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail for that, but I just don't like the Olympics. I think it's just a bit...
Wow.
It's a bit meh.
Wow. But no, you won a gold medal in the rowing. You won a gold medal in the rowing, and you won a bronze medal in the rowing, and you've won a bronze in the boxing. But just look at Great Britain,
a country that is 6 times our size.
And hang on, you've had 3 medals. Sorry. Can you make that 11 times the size, being that we've got 32 medals? No, shout out to the Irish. I'll tell you what I love.
Actually, you are probably about 11 times the size. So the medal distribution is probably about similar. So,
I do feel... I don't know if the boxing's still going, because let's be brutally honest, the Irish have some fantastic boxers, but that's another story for another day. We saw Mike Gaunt come into the pits, by the way. We're now starting to see some of these guys come into the pit stops, and usually we say, "Oh, wait for the final pits. We'll start to understand where everybody is." We mean it this time. With one of the longest pit lanes in racing, the endurance layout for Spa. You never know until everyone's taking those final pit stops, and it's the same with Adam. He came out and pitted, and he was like P8, P9, and you think to yourself, that's a big drop, being he was so far ahead. Well, you get that around here. You know, I've had it where, I'm going to take an early pit stop in a sprint race using this, and then you find yourself at the back of the field, and you're like, huh? What? And then sooner or later, everyone starts to pit, and you start making your way up quietly, and that's what's happening with Adam, and that's what's happening for Eric. So a couple of drivers have done those pit stops, and you can be sure that Mike Gaunt went for an undercut with 30 minutes to go. And yeah, 1 minute 18. That's a splash and dash if I've ever seen one. That's a very quick... That can't... My calculator must be off. There's no way he's done a pit stop 30 seconds less than what we've seen already. Surely not. That can't be right. I need to check this. No, he did take a pit stop. I thought it would have been a drive-through. No, he did take a pit stop.
30 minutes left to go.
Just seeing Mason Marzov having an off at the moment. He's down in 22nd, just having an off at Pujon, waiting for Brandon Kluger to get by, not wanting to interfere in his drive up the order with Sean Brown in front of him. Again, both these guys did take tyres last pit stop, so it will be a case of them having to go to the end, the last 20 minutes on these tyres.
Oh, Greggy, that's a car gone off.
Another one going off. That looks to me like that is
Lottridge, yeah.
Yeah, that was Lottridge.
Let's have a look. Here is the spin. Oh dear. Yeah, just lost it on his own. Having to get... Yeah, he got off the track anyway, so that's the main thing.
Now, I'm trying to remember. Didn't he not... He had an incident, didn't he, at Blanchemont?
He did.
Am I right?
Yeah, he did.
So, with 29 minutes to go, we're starting to see some of these battles grouping up just a little bit. Gap between Weddle and Zimmerman is 1.3. Gap between Ward and Facaponte, which, remember, Adam has pitted. That's a 3-second gap. So he's going to get that position. It just depends where he is. And of course, Eric Feek is the guy that is the closest man that can beat Adam at the moment, but he is quite a while back. So not a lot happening elsewhere. It's one of those that it's a game of survival, Spa. And also, one thing we haven't talked about, even with the new track limits, Rob, as a DQ count of 50, that's still quite easy to get around here. I don't know if you've tried the off-track system now at Spa. Because I have, and I'm still getting off tracks. You find yourself still driving the way you used to, a little bit tentative, but at the same time, you're just there thinking, oh, maybe, maybe I can, maybe I can't. You see them at Bruxelles going into no name, and the line you get at no name, you think to yourself, yeah, I can do that, and then you realize, no, I just find myself just over pushing it. You think you've got all that room, you still get an off track. So, the 4 tire rule is fantastic though for iRacing. It's great to see them trying new things, implemented at Red Bull Ring, implemented here at Spa. No doubt when they bring in Hungaro Ring and they bring in and the new Watkins, they'll have that as well. Sorry, I just got distracted because Sean Brown is in the pits, leader in the pits. Lap 50, exactly what I was predicting when he pitted lap 25. He's on 25 and 25. Brandon Kluger, will he come into the pits? They are teammates, the HW Racing. There was quite a bit of time between them, but yes, Kluger does come into the pits. Will this start a chain reaction? Zimmerman got Jack Weddle right behind him, and then Colin Ward is well behind. As you can see, we're actually looking at them right now. Will they come into the pit? Weddle does not. He pitted a couple of laps later in that Ferrari. So Zimmerman comes in. Colin Ward does not come in. Let the games begin, because Brown is finally in his pit box. That took him a while to get into his pit box. I gotta be brutally honest. Did I miss something? No. Okay. Very long pit stop. Weddle goes by. Ward goes by. Adam Facaponte is about to go by. Adam takes the provisional lead back. Knock on wood, of course, that nothing else happens as Brown in the pits. We get to see 2 matte black cars.
In first and second now.
In first and second. Good golly.
What's with the matte black, though? That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of reflection on them, but it is matte black. Very matte black. It's almost like they've gone open up paint and just taken the paintbrush and put black everywhere. And then done the same on the spec layer. The spec map layer. So that is very black. Like we said earlier, there's like no light coming off that. No reflection whatsoever. So very weird paint scheme. Nice though. The Sean Brown comes out. He comes out, and Brandon Kluger overtook him. Sean Brown did a longer pit stop. I'm wondering, did Brown take tires by accident? No, he just took more fuel. What's happened there? Has he speeded in the pit lane? Is the next question. That's a long time in the pits for Sean Brown. Pit speed is 60.
Brown. Where's Brown? Where's Brown? Sean Brown. Oh, he was a minute in the pits. Yeah.
No speeding. So
And
no
in,
idea what
and in goes Colin Ward.
Now, no pressure, Colin. We saw you hit the wall last time.
And there goes Facaponte.
Yeah, no pressure this time to Colin, but we did see you hit the wall.
As he hit the wall this time.
Gonna be tight. Spence is killing me, Rob. Here he comes. And breathe a sigh of relief. He has not hit the wall this time. He will go down the order. David Wilson Jr. coming in as well. And he was in a battle with Mike Gaunt, I seem to remember. Whereas Mike at the moment, he is at Pujon. So Wilson may overtake Gaunt. That's a bit of a gap, though, between the two of them. Wait and see on that one. Derek Feek comes by and takes... he will take tentative P3. And then it'll be back to P2 once Weddle pits. But Jack Weddle is now only 5 seconds behind Adam Facaponte. Sorry, Adam Facaponte is now 5 seconds behind Jack Weddle.
I'm just trying to do the mental math in my head because... if Weddle can have a good pit stop, he might come ahead of Brown. But it depends. It depends. It all depends from now on, because as far as I'm concerned, Facaponte has it in checkmate right now. That P1, he just needs to make it to the end. Feek has P2. Klug has... does Klug have to pit again? Nope, Klug has already pitted, as has Brown and Zimmerman. The next person that needs to pit is actually Weddle.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see. Of course, all the pits are a little bit off tilter right now, because with Facaponte taking an early pit stop with Yambroni and Colin Ward, wasn't it? No, not Colin Ward. Feet, yeah, took an early pit stop. So a couple of them, two of them took early pit stops. Weddle, I think he's got one more lap of fuel. Pitted lap 27. Do the maths. Yeah, I think he'll be coming in this lap. Matching Adam's times. In all due fairness, matching Adam times. He did take tyres last time. But doing a 219.642 because of the very light fuel tank. But that will go away very shortly.
And then we get down to the low brow because, unfortunately, the gaps are pretty massive. So I think we will...
I'm sorry, I've just seen some F1 news, and it's not good F1 news.
What do you mean?
Vettel didn't have enough fuel.
No, not again. No.
Yeah. Just been announced in the last couple minutes.
No, what happens to him? No.
I know.
No, what happens? No, please don't tell me he gets a penalty.
If you don't... sorry, the rule is he only has 1 liter of 1 liter of fuel was not available in his car at the end of the race.
Yeah, but I mean, like everybody runs out of fuel. Like he most definitely had a liter of fuel left in the car when he crossed the line.
Yeah, but he didn't. Yeah, but that's why they were telling a lot of the drivers to stop. Anyway, while we're watching these final 20 minutes going on, Major Series, a nice little announcement from the Major Series that the M-Tech is back for Season 2. GT3 Pro, GT4 Pro and Pro-Am, and TCR Pro and Pro-Am. A 6-track schedule. And it looks fantastic, Rob. Because it's just come out, and I think it is fantastic to announce this. It's going to be on the GSRC. The 4 hours of Twin Ring Motegi, the 4 hours of Circuit of Americas, 4 hours of Hockenheim Ring, 4 hours of Red Bull Ring, 4 hours of Watkins Glen, and finishes with 5 hours of Silverstone. GT3s, GT4s, and TCRs. If you want more news about this week's major podcast will be discussing about it. But it looks fantastic. That lineup looks amazing.
Vettel reprimanded for not removing T-shirt. Vettel among drivers summoned.
Yeah, that was a reprimand. Let's not get into the politics of that.
Where is this? Hang on. Formula 1. Where is it? Where is it?
Oh. Oh, you're doing that, are you?
I'm trying to find where this news is, okay? I don't want... No, he better not be getting a...
Yeah, you need 1 liter of fuel. They need to take a 1 liter fuel sample. He does not have enough for a fuel sample. A lot of the drivers were getting told to stop on track because of how low the fuel was, including the Williams, including Ocon. So if Vettel's the only one that doesn't have enough fuel...
Ocon did another full lap.
That's a huge blow, but you know what that also means, don't you?
What?
If he does lose it and gets disqualified, that pushes Carlos Sainz up to 3rd.
That pushes everybody up.
Yeah, I put Lewis into 2nd. But we're talking ramifications for the whole grid, okay? Because not only does that mean Lewis extends his lead on Max Verstappen. By the way, Jack Weddle's finally in the pit.
I can't see this news. Where's this news?
Chris Medlin on Twitter. I shall show you. There you go.
Chris Medland. I'm off to the stewards too. What? FIA could only take 300 milliliters of Vettel's car.
Yeah. Wow. 300 milliliters.
Yeah.
Wow. That is that's a big difference. Honestly, that is a big difference. Really? Only 300 milliliters? Anyway, we've got a race to talk about with 15 minutes to go. There's not a lot going on in the race. Of course, the gaps are way too big. Jack Whittle finally coming into the pit. He might be the battle we watch because he's going to be battling Zimmerman, I would think. Or is he going to be battling Sean Brown? We'll wait and see.
Oh my god. A non-driving reprimand for Ocon for his post-race parking error. He didn't get any direction. He didn't even know where to go. Go.
Somebody told him to go to the pit lane and pull it to the side that says what?
They didn't. Nobody in this radio told him to. Because nobody in this radio knew what to do.
No, because also apparently no one was there to find his car because they were all down there at the pit lane celebrating.
Yeah.
They got out too quickly. But when you think if Vettel does get disqualified, you know, Hamilton goes up a place, that's more points. To
Hearing
extend
that
the
there could
Championship
definitely
League.
be at least one more car that falls foul of the 1 liter of fuel requirement tonight.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Better not be a Williams. Better not be a Williams.
Better not be anybody. But what? Just scrap this rule because you'd have to reprimand half the field for that.
Would you?
Yeah,
If half-
well, whoever stopped, they'd have to reprimand because it was like, you know.
But they're not stop. But you can stop your car on the track if you think you're going to run out of fuel. That's fine because they can pull the car in. You can't do that in qualifying. You can do it in a race. Perez for Red Bull earlier this year when he won, he had to do that. You know, so it's doable. But also at the same time, if they can do it, then you know, surely the others can do it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. And then I get to see the Spa's. Oh my god, Spa really having a bad time with the rain today. The actual Spa.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, it was very bad. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing a car slide at Eau Rouge at the bottom of Eau Rouge.
Also,
So he's facing backwards.
Another thing as well, I did notice that there was a Peppa Pig plushie.
I know
on the
nothing.
What?
I don't know anything about that.
What do you mean? You don't see the celebrations?
I did, but I know nothing about that.
Yeah, neither do I. That's why I was asking.
That's what I mean. I know nothing.
Like, who brings a Peppa Pig?
I have no idea. I wish I knew.
Well, do you know what else we should know? Do you know what else we should know? Oh, he's gone away to do things. But chat, you know what else we should know? So Hamilton was out of breath and dizziness. I was dizzy because of his long-term effects of COVID, according to his words. Yeah, like COVID's. Guy, oh no! Oh crikey! That was Tom Van Putt hitting the rear end of this car in 11th. That's gotta be Mike Gunn. Is that Mike Gunn? No, it's not Mike Gunn. What car is that? It's a car. It's car in 17. Marco Schmidt. Sorry. I thought it was 11. No, it's 17. The car, Marco Schmidt slowing up in the wrong place.
I go away for 1 second to take a phone call, and you mentioned the C word on the stream, and then you have an orgasmic noise because of an incident.
Well, crikey.
I heard the ooh. That's all I could hear.
Well, yeah. Tom Van Put almost rear-ended Marco Schmitz.
No, I did see that. I did see that. That was a very weird incident, especially with Schmidt down the order. But you got to respect the blue flags, and we have seen drivers reprimanded in the major series for not respecting blue flags and causing incidents. So that's a weird one.
You know what? I'm going to have to take a phone call of my own. So I'm going to leave you with chat.
Yeah, you're going to leave me with chat. We've got 10 minutes to go, and we're currently just watching around. Andy Banfield was just there, one of the drivers we were just watching, and now we go on to Sean Brown, of course. But Brown currently in a battle himself. He's 4 seconds away from Brandon Kluger. But the key thing is that Kluger has older tyres. Brown took tyres last stop, and they stopped at the same lap. So that's one to keep an eye out for. There's 4 seconds between them. Now, there's 23 seconds between Eric Feek and Anafaka Ponti, but with that, 5 laps to go? 4 laps to go? 5 laps to go. I can't see anything happening. By the way, remember I was talking about we were looking at 63, 62 laps? It is 62. Current calculation, so 61.3 laps remaining. So if you had that on your bingo card, congratulations. I didn't. I wish I had that, but we'll wait and see. Brandon Kluger, Sean Brown, the gap 3.6 seconds as we'll just continue to see what we've got. But there is that lovely car, Anafaka Ponti. The orange car. And like we said at the start of the day, the Orange Army out in force, of course, the track marshal. So it's fantastic just to see. It's not what he's running the orange for. We know that. He's always run the orange from his days in racing and everything. So we know that. And of course, they're racing for John on the side there. But with everything that's happened in the weekend, with the nasty crash at Spa yesterday, I think I will say we had a really bad Saturday when it came to motorsport, with the incident with the marshal, the very serious crash at Spa. It wasn't very good. And then today, I think everything was restored. We had some fantastic, respectful racing at Spa. My word, a move around the outside with 5 minutes to go at Blanchimont to win. Great move. Then we had what happened in the F1. I'm not on about the crash, that was still bad, but to see all these different stories come through. The Williams fighting to make sure they get a point, and they got more than a point. They got both drivers in the points. You've got Ocon trying to prove that, it probably was wrong for Mercedes to let go of him. Alonso rolling back the years with his driving. It was a great day for motorsport, just to really put a smile back on our faces and try and get us back to be racing's a dangerous sport, but the love is there. So it was just fantastic to see. So that's happened, and it's a shame. We move on. 7 minutes and 37 minutes. 7 minutes and 30. That's a Murrayism. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, and there's a lovely rubbing in line as they come through La Source, and a lot of you can see it as well on the broadcast with trackcams22.com. Really good, really quite visible there. The gap is shrinking a little bit, just a little bit, between Vacaponti and Feek. Not enough really to go. Eric's going to have a last lap lunge. It's 22 seconds. It's gone down a second compared to where it was last lap. So not really a lot to go. It's going to happen. But really what's going to happen is Sean Brown and Brandon Kluger, the HW racing car, who's had to fight his way back after that long pit stop, which I don't know what the long pit stop was for. I'm sure somebody will tell me, but He is slowly catching up to Brandon Kluger. Gap is now 2.7. He took half a second off him. Jack Weddle's just there in P5. And P5 would be great for the stats in all due fairness. He is 12 seconds behind. He don't think he'll be able to catch up, but putting that matte black Ferrari where it should be, forcing Oliver Zimmerman just another 5 seconds back. And 5 seconds back, of course, is Colin Ward, Tom Van Put, just behind him, about 5 seconds as well. 5 seems to be a very, very poignant number just in that middle of the top 10. But the Kluger-Brown battle is going to be crucial, and Kluger, lost half a second there, having to get around the lap traffic of Andy Banfield. And then Sean Brown's now going to have to get around him, and he might catch him just at the entry of No Name. And he will, and Banfield does let him go, so Brown's not going to lose time at the moment. I'm just giving you some updates, of course, because at the moment we are, with Rob, just a little bit busy. Don't think the also cameraman has kicked in yet. So we've got Adam Hacaponte on screen as he's driving around. I'll give you some old radio calls. I'm turning into Alex, not Alex, Jack, the Formula E commentator. I forget his name. That's really embarrassing. Wow. I can't believe I've actually done that. Anyway. So, I'll give you the old radio when we can, as you see Facaponte just doing his last few laps with 5 minutes to go. Gap between Kluger and Brown, you're not seeing at the moment, is 2.2 seconds, and very shortly, the two HW Racing boys will be back together, and they won't get a 1-2-3, but HW Racing, second, third, and fourth is a fantastic result for the boys. If they could get better, they would, but the gap is now closing to 2 seconds between Kluger and Brown, and you've got to start thinking, I am going to say it, as the track temp has not changed. It's 8 o'clock almost, sim time in the morning, still 21 Celsius. It's gone up slightly because it's now 70 Fahrenheit, so you can see there has been an increase. It was 69, it's now 70 Fahrenheit, but it's still 21 Celsius, so it's not a massive change. But this gap between the two of them is now 2 seconds. It's been slowly going down. And now finally, it's getting crunch time. Will there be team orders? No, there's no team orders here. It's all bit of team racing. But it will. If it does come down to it, there may be. Because you've got to think about it. Sean Brown is battling Adam Hacaponte in the championship. 19 points behind Adam. Which would mean 19 points behind when Adam's had 5 wins from 7 and Sean's had 1 win from 8. So, in terms of the points, Brandon may have to give up P3 to Sean just to help him. But at the end of the day, then Brandon's also P4 in the championship. 32 points back. So, I'm not going to say, are they going to fight? They might fight. It might be a battle. It might be the two of them fighting more than the two of them going for, having a decision to move each other. Eric Feek as well. We got to talk about Eric Feek. He's not really in the championship contention. He's down in 11th, 48 points behind. Then you got Jack Weddle 8th in the championship, 41 points behind. And Mike Gaunt, of course. Mike Gaunt is currently the man who is P3 in the championship, and he's not having it his way today. After that mistake early on, he's just been lapped in P11th after that start by him. So, unfortunately, he's not going to have any good time. Colin Ward, Brandon Kluger, we talked about Stefan Rossman, still serving doing his second of 2 race penalties. But there is on screen the man of the moment, and the man who has led, well, he hasn't led every lap due to the nature of the pit stops here, but he has been the leader provisionally for the whole of the race. And it's been a great race by him. And ever since the chaos at the start of the race, he's just been clean sailing. So you're not missing anything else on the track. we have that little battle going on between the teammates, but it is really a question of, is it a battle? Kluger not having a very good lap last time. I apologize for that noise. My door is not fully shut and it is windy. We do have these guys battling on. Brown about half a second now back between his teammates, Kluger. You see the HWA racing. Here they are now, finally. We see them on the screen. The two different cars, both with the same design, really. The red, a little bit of white there on Kluger's car with the American flag on the top. It's a very nice design. It's very clean. I do like it when you get something like this. It's just really nice. The HW Racing, of course, stands for Hodges Wood Racing. At the moment, it is second, third, and fourth. But because of championship implications, who's going to get third? Who's going to get fourth for them? I actually am really curious if there's going to be anything happening between these guys. I highly doubt there'll be anything major. But Adam Facaponte comes to start the final lap of the race. He's come through the source. The white flag is waving. I don't have a white flag is on the traditional start line, but at the moment it is on the finish line. Of course, is at the traditional line. So as the clock ticks down, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, the time is up. 2.4 hours is done, and Adam Facaponte just has to traverse
one more
the rest of this 7-kilometer track. I think he's done 2 kilometers, so 5 kilometers to go, roughly, we just say.
The max laps is like 2 million or 2 billion. It's not calculating, all right? God damn it.
But like I said, there is that battle between teammates in HW Racing, Kluger and Brown. They'll come to the Camel Straight for the final time once they come out of Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Will there be any orders? Like I said, Brown is currently P2 in the championship. Kluger is currently P4 in the championship. Who's going to want this? Who's going to need it? They will have to do some respectful racing, and you can see it. Kluger is going to be slipstreaming, and Brown is going to be taking that line. Kluger looks to be a little bit like he wants to say, hey, what do you want to do? And some late braking from Brown does not get caught there, and Kluger's going to hold off here. They're in no trouble about any cars behind them. It will be Kluger just to take this. And this is 50 seconds back from Adam Facaponte. In fact, where's Adam? Where's Adam, you say? He's coming up to Blanchimont. And through Blanchimont, he will go as we continue just to see if Kluger and Brown. I think Brown's had to serve a slowdown as he's had to lose the back of Kluger. Kluger may take that P3, but all eyes on the man of the last 2.5 hours. Adam Facaponte started pole, basically saw dust in his rearview mirror after a lap 1 crash, takes the wheeze, slow down. He wins his 6th race of the championship as he wins the major 2.4 of Spa. And now he waits for the rest as Eric Feek will come home, and he really pushed hard. HW will get the first of their 3 cars on the podium. Eric Feek will take P2. Brandon Kluger and Sean Brown are going up Blanchimont right now. They've got Patrick Neese in front of them. Shouldn't be any issues. And it will be a 2, 3, and 4 for the HW Racing team. That's a fantastic result for them. Fantastic when it comes to it. 1 more set of corners to traverse. Brandon Kluger will take a very well-deserved P3, making up 6 places. Sean Brown makes up 4 places. He will take P4. HW takes 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
The rest of the lads crossing the line now. That is Jack Weddle coming home in 5th. Very well done by him. Zimmerman taking home 6th. Colin Ward 7th. Tom Van Putt coming home in 8th. Jan Brony 9th. And then finally David Wilson Jr. running out the top 10. Everybody else behind them has already finished.
Yeah, just a couple more drivers. And Corbin Solomonson might be the last guy to finish a lap around here. Or is it Andy Banfield? It is indeed Andy Banfield will be the last man to take up. But they're at Stavlot coming into Blanchimont shortly. But what a drive from Adam. I mean, never touched. Only time he saw cars was when he was lapping traffic and saw a 2-car battle in front when he took an early pit stop. Dominance. Just dominance from Adam. We always say it, and there's been one race. There's been one. What? Not one race. Sorry, 2 races, isn't it? 2 races this year. He's not won. We ask, who can stop Adam? Because the only races he hasn't won was an oval race and a multi-class race. And being we're coming to Darlington, if he comes in for an interview, it'll be interesting to ask him that. I've got to be brutally honest. But he tries to do a donut around Pujon. Doesn't work. He's just going to limp back to the pits. But a great drive from Adam Facoponte, and I think we can seal up the... we can call it, can't we? We can call these results as Adam just continues around. It is indeed Adam Facoponte.
It is the end of the race. 2 and just under 2.5 hours have been completed, and we can get the results on your screens.
Yeah. There they are on the screen very short. Adam Facoponte will take that victory. Fastest lap as well. A 2:17.724. Only driver in the 2:17s. What a time that was. Eric Feek comes home in second place. Quite a big gap between them it was at one stage, but Adam just let off the gas a little bit at the end, but 15, 16 seconds was the gap. Brandon Kluger takes home P3 and P4 with Sean Brown. So that is an HW Racing 2, 3, and 4. Fantastic for them. Jack Wedder will take home 5th, and Thorsten Oliver Zimmerman will take home 6th as well. Colin Wood will be 7th, and Tom Van Put will be 8th. Then you've got Jan Brony in 9th. David Wilson Jr. comes home in 10th, and he was the last man on the lead lap. Mike Gaunt had a good start, but unfortunately got caught up in an incident at Lake Coombe early on. He will come home in 11th, and Wolf D. Takoto will be 12th. Patrick Neese will come home in 13th, and Darren Buckle a lap down still. All of these are lap down in 14th. Kenneth Reeder will be 15th, and Marco Smith will be 16th. Corbin Solomonson will be 17th, and Andy Banfield, we saw him there in the Porsche, will be 18th. 2 laps down for Jason Lottridge and Ronald Overbay as they take 19th and 20th respectively. Mason Marzoff 4 laps down in 21st, and Simon Thorne 7 laps down in 22nd. Then Stuart Elder will be 10 laps down in 23rd, and Kenneth Tier 25 laps down in 24th. Try saying that a couple times, and I'll try and do this one as well. Thomas Stiebenagel 26 laps down in 25th. A little bit easy as well for these last 2. A couple retirements as well. Carl Aspey 47 laps back in 26th, and 49 laps down for Drew Lalone in 27th. Peter Dolomer had a lap 1 incident that we did see. He finished in 28th, and John Lang 29th. Those two didn't even finish the first lap because of what happened.
Oh, Dolomer did.
Yeah, no. He towed, didn't he?
Yeah, but he tried coming back out.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, he did. Yeah. But yeah, no.
And John Lang completed apparently 3 laps. No, wait, hang on. No, we didn't.
No. Neither of them completed any lap. They finished crashing out on the first lap. What I will say, though, is we talked about there was a 50 incident point limit. Thomas Siebenagel had 40 incidents. 43 incidents for Mike Gaunt. 40 incidents for Eric Feek. So, like I said, I'm not bashing these drivers. Like I was saying earlier, this track is still, even with the new limits, still tough. Still tough. Really, it is tough to keep the car on the track. You really are pushing hard, and let's be brutally honest, because a lot of the track doesn't has tarmac runoffs. I think that does make you feel like you can go a little bit further. I don't know. But waiting to see if there's going to be anybody coming in for interviews, but I don't see anybody at the moment. Do you?
I don't know, and I think, therefore, we will call it there.
I think that is a fair point. We will call it there. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Raidillon TV. If you like what you see, do not forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell to get notified of when we go live next. Underneath the video, of course, is a link to our Discord, our nice little community, and also to TrackCams22. I've been calling them out a lot today. Thank you once again for providing us with these fantastic cameras. As I say that, Rob does the aerial shot. I love that. I don't know if that's time planned or just a coincidence. I don't know, but it's fantastic. It comes up. It's fantastic to see them. So thank you very much. Like I said, for more on the majors, the Southern 500 Darlington Racing with the NASCARs will be August 22nd, and the week after that, the finale of the Predator Series at Virginia International Raceway. I don't think there's much more to say, but like I said, once again, our thoughts to those affected in the incident at Brands Hatch yesterday. Hashtag Orange Army, and we'll always be thinking about them. And I think really after that, I think there's only one thing to say, is that my name has been Craig King.
And I have been Robert O'Brien.
And this is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.